Rich Mitch, I love you. Yeah, buddy. I just come to say I love you. Chat, we love you too. Rich Mitch, what's up, buddy? How have you been?
I'm good. How are you? How are you? I'm good. Marvelous. What's
I'm
happening?
very well, thank you. It's been a while since we've seen each other in this situation. You, me, and the chat. You and I get together quite often, but it's been a while since we've seen the chat.
That's right.
Kind of can't even remember what happened in the last live stream, but hope everybody's doing well. Let us know who's here. Let us know what you're all wearing. Let us know what you're all doing. Today is a day off in Canada. It's a family day holiday. So most working Canadians have the day off, which is really nice. Not all. The mall is open. Boutiques are open. I'm not sure. It's just like industrial, or some places decide to remain open. Not all. We're shut down, and it's a day meant to be spent with family. My family's gone home for the weekend, so I am now with my Perfume family.
Yeah.
I got to spend
No
some
holiday.
time with the ducks, as some of you might have seen. I like going
Yes.
to feed the ducks. It's very therapeutic for me. It's very calming and relaxing. Um, so even for somebody that does meditate, I do try to meditate at least an hour every day. Anxiety still takes hold. You can anxiety or stress still does build, and I find going out in nature and spending time, outdoors and fresh air really helps with that. And that's why I do it. Rich, how have you been
Yeah.
since we last spoke?
I've been all right. I had my fourth vaccine last week, which is a bit of a madness. But I get them early because I've got the immune system of a tree. Not even a tree, because they've got quite good immune systems. A
It's
dead
amazing.
tree.
You chop a tree down or you burn it down, and next year it starts growing back. That's
Yeah. Do you know
natural.
how do you know how to kill a tree? Like actually kill a tree, like properly, right?
Give it
You
medication.
band it. No, you band it. You get a knife or a saw, right? And you cut about anywhere between a centimeter and an inch of the bark off all the way around a tree in a band, and it will kill the tree dead. Because it uses the bark to transport the water up the tree.
Really, eh? I didn't know
Yeah, that's
that.
how. Yeah, it is. It's horrible. Like, that's how you kill a tree. Not that you'd want to kill a tree, but that's how you kill a tree or fungus. Ood, yes, somebody. That's exactly what I thought when I said I had it. Tree's immune system makes ood. That's where ood comes from. A tree's immune system.
That's
So
right.
imagine a dead,
It's an
imagine a dead
infected
tree.
ood comes from infected tree, right? It's like the
Uh-huh.
mold of the tree.
That's right. It's this little resin that the tree knocks up, and
Mm.
and that's what gives it the funky smell. You know. Um,
Does
so
Floral
yeah.
Notes have a YouTube channel?
No, she should.
Okay. A viewer last week had got in touch with me, and he lives in this city, Mississauga, and he wanted to get together because he's got some real oud he wants to share with me. And we tried making plans, and I'm not sure what happened. I was like, he wanted to meet kind of that day, which I wasn't able to. And I was like, how about
Yeah.
next week? Get in touch with me. And he's like, all right. And next week came and gone, and I haven't heard of him from him since. But he's got some real oud, he says, that he wants to share with me. So I'm kind of excited about that. Like, just to smell real oud on its own, not blended together with in fragrance concentration. So I'm
Yeah.
excited. That's something new. So how do you feel
Ooh.
after getting your fourth
Well, I feel like I'm about to start glowing in the dark. I'm
Right?
fucking, I'm sick of it now. But the problem is that I'm on this medication, and I like if I was you or if I was somebody else in the chat, and if I was just normal, I wouldn't have had three. Never mind four.
If you were
Um,
normal.
yeah, if I didn't, but I've got like a suppressed immune system. So like my like, and that's literally like the most like that's like you hear like the politicians, like the prime minister mentions specifically. He's like the first people who will get the vaccine
Yeah.
are the over 75s, emergency workers, and people with a suppressed and people with a compromised immune system, and that's me. So I'm like top of the list for the
So
vaccine.
how do they test for a compromised immune system? Is there like
It's blood
data
tests.
supporting this
So
or
so what it is right. My I have got I've got something called ankylosing spondylitis, which is a rheumatoid condition, and they can tell by these things called inflammatory markers. There's a blood test called a it's a sedimentary rate, which like your blood, the way your blood separates out. It's an ESR and a CRP test, and they will tell you whether you've got these inflammatory markers. And then there's certain genes that go along with that, so they'll test you for them as well. And then there are other symptoms, such as like the way like my back's fucked, like it's fucked in a certain way that can only be made by it's fucked by outrageous 22222. Um, there's certain ways that they can tell, and then so for a compromised immune system, it's compromised because that's the medication I'm taking. The medication I'm taking literally suppresses your immune system because my immune system's attacking us. So not to bring anyone down or anything, but
I'm
I
sure you're
actually
not. I'm sure there's other people dealing with it, so that's why I ask. And
oh
I
there's
just got proposed to. This is
loads of people.
fantastic on a live stream. I'm flattered. Can I think
Are you
about
gonna
it?
go for it?
Can I think about it? Like, how much time do I have to think about this? Because, you know, it's not something that usually works out for me. I'm sure it's just not in the cards like that thing. I'm not a relationship kind of guy.
You never
Um,
know. Third time's the charm.
yeah, yeah. Actually, it's not really good to say something like that. Um,
What? Oh yeah.
no, no. I mean, not to be in a relationship kind of guy, but I guess I'm just enjoying being in a relationship with myself right now, and enjoying being alone and discovering myself in the moments.
Is this the longest you've been on your own for a while?
Ah, yeah, probably.
Because a lot of people find that like they go through their lives and they've always been with someone else, and then
Yeah,
they get to a certain age, whatever that age is, and it's the first time they've ever been on their own, and a lot of people can't handle it, but a lot of people really really enjoy it because it's the first time they've been on their own, you know.
yeah, yeah. No, and you can discover a lot about yourself when you're alone, and in relationships as well. As long as you can sit into those uncomfortable situations.
Yeah.
Um, being alone has really opened my eyes to a lot of things, and there's obviously a lot of moments where I feel there's feelings of loneliness, but they are temporary and fleeting, and they pass. And what I've learned is everything I need, I already have, and it's in those lonely feelings where it's like, oh, I forget that I am everything. Everything I need is already within me. It's just I gotta uncover that and make light for it to shine. Hi, Juju. What's up?
Ju ju ju
Juju is in
ju
the house.
ju 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 ju
But
ju.
yeah, yeah. No, it's nice to be alone. It's nice to be by yourself.
Yeah.
I think I find it very freeing and liberating, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with being in a relationship, but uh,
Yeah.
it's quite freeing to do all the things you want without having to negotiate with a partner.
Yes.
And there's
Without
nothing
having
wrong
to.
with that either. But in a negotiation, it almost feels like everybody loses because nobody's really getting what they fully want. You got like a compromise. Are you winning in a compromise?
No, the thing is, right, is that it's very rare for two people to agree about anything.
Hmm.
So to get people to agree on more than one thing for any sustained length of time is almost impossible. But some people can do it. You know what I mean? I admire
Yeah.
people who can, like, I genuinely admire people who can do that, because I can't. And I don't begrudge other people who can. It's just something that I know about myself that I can't, you
Right.
know. And it's coming to peace. It's less it's less the not being able to compromise and more the being able to come to peace with the fact that that's not for you, and it stops a lot of angst. That it stops a lot of pain and a lot of suffering. The fact that if you can be honest with yourself about your shortcomings and
Hmm.
accept them, and accept
Yeah.
other people's shortcomings as well, then you'll feel a lot happier,
Mm.
or less sad. You'll feel a lot more content. Content's
Right.
maybe a better word.
The best relationship consists of two nihilistic lovers. Shit. Not the type of relationship that I am looking for.
Nihilistic. Not sure about that.
It
I've
sounds
dabbled
very
with a bit of
hectic and chaotic.
I've
I
dabbled
want
in a bit
nothing
of
more than
nihilism.
peace.
Yeah, I've dabbled in nihilism. Like it's a dodgy fucking thing. Nihilism. It takes on its own life.
As a
Really
husband, you always
strange.
lose when you negotiate with your wife.
Not necessarily. If you get
I
on with your
mean,
wife, you don't
I
necessarily
think
have
as
to.
long as things even out and balance out at the end. I
Yeah.
mean, if you're always losing, that can't feel good. The worst part is like losing yourself in a relationship. That would suck. You becoming somebody that you don't align with in order to keep somebody else happy.
We end up
That's
playing roles, don't you? That's what
right, right.
happens with people.
So
It's
you
like
go
they
out of
end up.
alignment. They want you to steer left, but when you let go of the wheel, your natural instinct is, for the car to go right. So now you're fighting this internal, I don't know, it's like chaos, right? Conflict. It's internal conflict.
Yeah, it's you're having to live up to somebody else's role for you, and you're not going to be happy if you're playing a role for someone else that doesn't suit you. You know, like if somebody expects you, say you marry a woman and her expectation is for you to be like her father,
Mm,
right? And you're not her father, then you're going to struggle. And the same goes the other way around. A lot of men marry a woman expecting them to be just like their mother, right? And they're
yeah.
not. There's a vast difference between a wife and a mother.
Well,
And a
isn't
lot of
that what
people go,
people look for? The same characteristics they find in their mother because that's what they're familiar with, or with their father, right? That's all they
yeah,
know.
there's elements of that, but there's also the element of that someone will get into a relationship with someone based on the fact that that person has something that they want. So you will go for a woman who has something that you want, um, not just like a body or something like that. You know what I mean? But like a mental loss or like an emotional characteristic. Um,
Mm,
a lot of people look for things in other people that they don't have, and that can be a problem as well. You know, because they keep expecting this person to be this thing that they want, and you can't always fulfill that.
right?
You can't always
Right.
do that. Sorry.
It's hard, it's difficult, it's not hard, but I mean, it can be challenging sometimes to fulfill somebody else's needs and to validate them the way they want, especially if it's constantly, if there's that neediness. But Spy and Mash says, "Happy wife, happy life," and I strongly disagree with you. All due respect, Spy and Mash. How about like happy husband, happy life? Why does wife need to take the advantage there? I think both partners need to be happy. Um, Lynn's saying, Eugene, that's a very challenging attitude on really. I'm not sure what she means. Can you go further into that? How do we get on this topic anyway? Um,
Absolutely no idea.
it's really interesting because I was just saying there are those times of, I do miss my family life. There was obviously a lot of good times, and there are moments where I go into those feelings, like they come out, and I miss the partner that I had. However, I'm now, life is always changing, and I'm now in the new stage of my life, and so those feelings of loneliness pop up once in a while when I allow them, when I get stuck in thought. But today I ran in, like right after I was feeding ducks, I ran into an old friend that I've known for 30 years, and I haven't seen him in 10 years, and I haven't seen him like prior to that in 10 years. And he says, and you hear this quite often, like, we should connect, we should go out, and let me take your number. And I was like, okay. So I gave him my number. He was there with his wife. And I was like, are these just words? Are these just empty words? Or is this guy really gonna go through with this? Like, why is he bothering? You know what I mean? Like, people say
Yeah.
a lot of things, but they don't
Well,
follow
you see,
through.
that's another thing as well that people do, is that they do and say things that they think they should do and say, rather than what's actually right. They do something that they think is right. Um, and that can be quite challenging. The difference between what you think you should do, what you think you have to do, and what you actually do are three very different things. You know. So maybe he was just doing it with the best of intention. Maybe he felt really awkward, or maybe he genuinely thought about you and wanted
Yeah,
to see you again.
his wife made it really awkward because she's like, "We need a picture of you two," and I was like,
What?
I obviously I agreed, but I was like, "Hang on this, like, why do we need a picture? This person isn't in my life. We don't celebrate, precious moments together. Like, what the fuck is this all about?" And that was weird. It felt weird for me, but I stood there anyway with him, and and then I picked up his perfume, his scent, and it was god awful, but I complimented on him because I didn't want to insult him. I asked him what he was wearing, and he said Versace, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm not
Oh
sure if we
God,
can be
no.
friends." Like, the snob in me came out. Right? I'm kidding,
Nightmare.
of course.
No, I
Yes,
know what you mean.
Yana had proposed. That's how we got on the topic. Yes, I'm so forgetful. Here we go.
No, dear me. Versace, was it?
Yeah, it was a Versace. So, Rich, now that we're on the topic, let me ask you, what are some things that you do to keep from, because you're single as well? What kind of things do you do to keep you from feeling or being lonely? Like, do you ever
Um,
feel lonely?
yes, lonely, yes, but do I crave company? Not hugely. I'm a pretty solitary duck.
Yeah, you like
Um,
being alone?
yeah, I do like being alone, and when I'm not alone, when I can't get my alone time, I really suffer. Um, when I can't get like my downtime where I can just sit and process life and what's just happened to us the last few hours or the last few minutes or the last few days, I get really like discombobulated. So to deal with loneliness, I'll talk to people, you know.
Yeah.
Um, I like talking to people if I'm lonely. If I'm not lonely, then I don't. But I think it's good to have a good mix of different things. Like you should be able to socialize, you should be able to talk with people, you should be able to do that, but you should also be able to live with yourself. And I think there's a lot of people who just can't live with themselves.
The
Um,
fear of being alone.
it's not just the fear of being alone. Some people literally just can't sit and bear their own inner monologue. Like,
That's exactly what I mean about the fear of being alone. And when I say fear of being alone, people misunderstand the fear. They mean I mean the fear of being without somebody else. But no, it's literally the fear of being by yourself, like within your own thoughts, within your own body,
yeah,
without a sort of distraction, just to sit here as you are without your internet, without your television, without a book. How long can you sit? It's almost like a meditation. How long can you sit alone for without any type of distraction? And that's what most people are afraid of, is that
yeah.
loneliness, because of what will bubble to the surface for them: thoughts, feelings, uh unprocessed emotions.
See, I don't think it's such a bad thing to be able to have like a distraction, as long as it's not as long as it's not counterproductive to your mental or your physical health. Like some people get like addicted to
Yeah.
drugs. Some people go too far with different things. You can sit and you can do lots of different activities, and for some people, right? For some people, that's like better than the alternative. Like for some people, the alternative is drugs, is drink, is like addictions and stuff like that.
Well,
Should
that's
you
what
be
they
able? Should
do to replace being alone.
Yes, exactly. But what I'm saying is that you don't just have to sit and suffer. You don't. If some people don't want to go into those sorts of things, but you need to do something. You need to, if you're going to do something like, um, if you're going to do something to get away from those sorts of feelings, make it productive. Don't make it like, as long as it's not like counterproductive. You don't have to suffer per se. You don't have to like sit and just like, and I suppose that's where me and you would differ on that sort of answer. I think, like, I'm not saying that you're advising people to suffer, but you're saying
No,
like
I'm
sit
not
in
saying to
those,
suffer at all, but I'm saying,
no, to like get to go into those sort of feelings
well, we first of
and
all, we have to define what you mean by suffering. But yeah, as a human being, you can't just sit here alone with your thoughts and feelings all day long. That's not the point of life. Obviously, we need to move around and do things, and we have, communication with other human beings. But as long as the things that you, and almost everything is a distraction, even being here online, it can be a form of distraction. But as long as it's a healthy distraction and it's not hurting you or setting you back in some way, or
yeah,
damaging you, there's nothing wrong with that.
yes, that's sort of like what I'm saying. But I would also agree with you in that, like, reflection on yourself, on your state, working on yourself, thinking about you and your place in the world, and how you sit and fit into the world, and how you, like, not reference yourself against the world, but like your place mentally is very important. I think a lot of people should do that. Like
To reflect.
like self-worth, self-work, you know?
Mm, mm.
Like you
I
did it
fully
through like
agree. I
meditation.
fully
Yeah.
agree.
You did it
There's
through like meditation and stuff.
I've been doing it for the last 3 years, like a lot of self-reflection. I try to meditate. Like last night, I was like, I wanted to live stream. I know you weren't available, and I thought, it was late. It was probably after midnight. I was like, I should throw up like a live stream. And I thought about it and thought about it, and I was like, fuck it. I went like, and I meditated for an hour, and I just like completely cleared my mind, and I felt great. I felt amazing. And that's what I love about meditation, is it just clears your mind and it connects you back to yourself. It connects your mind to your body. Whereas before it was like, when I had this chaotic lifestyle, my mind and my body were very disconnected, and I'd
Yeah,
constantly look for outer turmoil and chaos to fulfill my need of stimulation.
yeah. No, I get that.
but it's not
It's
something that I enjoy very much these days.
what, meditation?
No, chaos and turmoil.
Ah, right.
What is the best fragrance for loneliness?
Isoe Super, just by itself.
Looks like
Very
there's a lot of
uplifting.
people that enjoy being alone.
Yes. Yes, I would think there's a lot of people who
Anyone else in a relationship with Alexa? I do not have an Alexa. I don't even have a Siri. I've never used Siri on my iPhone.
I just hate the idea of like the phone just being like a
Mhm.
microphone listening to you all the time.
Yeah. Yes, Mike V.
Like the that's what we go from God. Yes.
What else? Somebody mentioned earlier, and I don't even want to get into it. Actually, I'm going to restrain myself because it's going to take us on a completely different path.
I mean, you don't have to. You can just to discuss. You can just say it, and then we can move on if you want.
Somebody mentioned Trudeau being the son of Fidel Castro, and I can say he's probably the most, if not the most hated man in the world right now, the most hated man in Canada.
Yeah, he's dropped it. He's
People are looking to lynch him.
massively heavy-handed, hugely over fucking reacted there. Some fucking people protesting. Fuck off with your fucking over fucking bearing fucking the emergency powers as if
Mm,
you're at war,
right.
as if
Like
you're
there's
at war too far,
life at
too far.
risk.
Yeah, he's just fucked it. He's just fucked himself completely. Like he's gone from not what he's done there is he's gone from 0 to 100, and he's thought, I'm just going to scare them. I'm going to fucking bully them. I'm going to go over. He could have done it. He could have done it a lot more skillfully, but he's just gone in heavy-handed. I'm hard. My dad did this. My dad did the other. I'll fucking show these people. Um, and he could have dealt with it so much better for a man who's in charge of a country. You know what I mean? It's just he just went too far too quickly.
Yeah, and we'll leave it at that. I don't want to get into it.
Yeah.
What else
Um,
is happening?
I've been buying fragrances,
Have you?
some fragrances, sort of. I don't know if I spoke to you the last time when I got those Bortnikov ouds. Um, if I told you about them, and then what else have I bought? Oh, I've got a list. I'll
I
show you.
bought a couple of things that I haven't really shared with anybody.
Ooh, how intriguing! What have you been buying?
You know what I've been wearing a lot of this whole month, especially when I go to work, is Celine. And and I'm really, really, really taking a liking to most of the Celines. I find them really well made and very easy to wear and interesting at the same time. Not
Nice.
the most exciting things, but I think in the last 2 or 3 years that they've been out, and in that same time span, they've been releasing more interesting things than Dior has in their Privé collection. And I am not sure who the perfumer of Celine is. If somebody knows, please let us know. I'm really curious. I'd love to know. I would imagine, and I think Francis K is one of them.
You
Um,
think you think Kurdijan is one?
I think Curtidion. Yeah, I would think the Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy crew probably has their hands in there. Maybe Jacques Cavalier. Uh, I don't know for certain.
I think they smell a little bit like Dior Homme. I think they've got that Dior Homme vibe.
they've been compared to a lot of things. Like most of them are compared to Bois d'Argent, and I get it, and I don't get it, and I don't think any of them are really, there might be a touch of it here and there. When I first got black tie, I thought this is Hedi Slimani's modern, updated take to Au Noir. And that's when I first
Okay.
got it. Now, I've probably worn it 10 times. Like, I've given it 10 proper wearings, full wearings since then. And my mind has completely changed where I barely even get that uh, connection anymore.
It's mad how that happens, isn't it?
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
your, how
Your
your, how your
perception
perception of a
changes.
fragrance.
And I
Yeah,
love
it
that
is.
too, how things change. You know, black
Yes.
black tie, I want to say it's not my style of fragrance, but it is a really beautifully made perfume. Really like well crafted. It smells of quality ingredients. It is kind of this gourmandish take on an ambery oriental, very woody, slightly aromatic, but it's very beautiful. Like it is, black tie. It is almost like the perfectly stitched perfume, and it kind of falls. And I wanted to review it, and this is why I hate talking about perfumes on live stream, because once I do, I never get around to reviewing. I was like, I already talked about it. My thoughts are out there, so there's no point in discussing it in a review. But it does feel like I get a little bit of um, tobacco vanille, the vanilla from tobacco vanille. I get a lot of tobacco in black tie, which is an unlisted note. They don't list or market tobacco, which is funny because they have a lot of tobacco in the other one, night clubbing as well. Uh, but it does kind of remind me of a couple of other things. But it is certainly its own fragrance. But it's like that style perfected. Uh, I've been wearing Le Peau Nu quite a bit.
So do
To
you
be honest,
think if you're getting, sorry?
the ones I've been wearing the most are probably Le Peau Nu, black tie, and night clubbing.
No.
That is the rosy iris, kind of champagne-y, strawberry-like, very warm, creamy, powdery. Most of them are very powdery.
Do you think that? Do you know black tie? You said doesn't have a tobacco note in it, but you get tobacco,
Mm,
right? Do
very
you
strong
think that you
tobacco.
do you think that you're getting the tobacco note because you're associating it with the vanilla, which you said is very similar to the vanilla note in tobacco vanille? So you're getting it by osmosis.
No, I'm pretty certain there's a huge tobacco note, a very herbal tobacco, like from start to finish. It's undeniably tobacco for me.
Right.
And it's more of the tobacco you would find, Lomi Dial by Guerlain. It has a
Yeah.
tobacco note in there.
Yeah.
So if you were to take that tobacco and just kind of expand it, make it a little bit richer,
Okay.
that's the type of tobacco. Does anyone else get tobacco in black tie?
I'm thinking of I'm thinking of getting the sample set. I don't know if they do sample sets. Um, so I'm going to ring them up. Apparently, they've got a boutique in London. So I'm going to ring them up and say, sell me a sample set. But Catherine's made a comment there where she says, I ordered $350 Celine set and they refused to give me a sample of Rimbaud. They suggested I blind buy it and test the sample they send with each item to prevent returns that are opened. Dickheads.
Let me grab black tie.
Lecte. The libertarian who don't know who like my girl Tina Turner. So
So black tie is quite sweet. I got to tell you that. It is quite sweet. It's syrupy. It's slightly goopy, but restrained.
Right.
There is, I get licorice, I get lavender, I get kind of this marshmallowy thing. It's very smoky, ambery, woody. It's all wood. Like it's not a floral perfume. It is very woody.
Okay.
I get kind of gingerbready thing going on.
Weird.
It is weird, but it's really good. And anyone
It
that
sounds good.
loves that kind of sweet gourmandy thing, I think this would work really well.
Okay.
Uh,
Oh no.
People say that they don't last. This is a very intense perfume for me. I find this very intense. But again, I enjoy skin scents. Skin scents are my kind of go-to. I find all of these very powerful. I think Eau de California is probably the weakest.
So I've got absolutely zero experience. Well, not zero experience, but I've got very little experience with Celine. Like, it's not the type of thing that I would wear.
So many good comments are whizzing by. I can't keep up. I'm really sorry, but um Davlon says the Celine staff in Toronto are either super hoity-toity and act like you're stealing their oxygen, or they're quite nice. So the first time I came there, they're like, "Can you sanitize?" And I was like, "Oh fuck!" And I literally did the Jeremy spin, and I walked right out. I was like, "Yeah, no, I'm not sanitizing." Um, but that was because I wasn't planning on buying anything. But the second time I came, I was like, I wanted to buy something, so I was like, "All right, I'll fucking sanitize, bitch." But I'm not happy about it. And ever since, and I did buy something, and they always give me a ton of samples. I guess they
Yeah,
kind of expect that I become familiar to them, so they just load up on the samples. But yeah, other than that first experience, I still need to sanitize every time I go in. But I mean, that's the only complaint I'd have.
you wouldn't last in England. Fucking. To be fair, he's just lifted all the restrictions today, so we don't have to do anything anymore. Mental.
Really, no more
Yeah.
masks. That's what I can't
No
wait
more.
for. Is no more masks.
No. No more masks. No more hand sanitization. No. If you test positive, you don't have to isolate. Everything gone. Everything gone.
Wait, what?
Like if you test positive, right,
Yeah.
you don't have to self-isolate anymore
Why not?
because he's lifted all the restrictions.
So what was the point of the like all of the last 2 years? What was the purpose of that?
Because there was the it's now mutated to the Omicron variant, which isn't as dangerous, and we can live with it now, apparently. So that's what we're doing.
I swear I'm going to have a fucking party when they lift the mask mandate. I despise the mask. So we've been wearing masks at work for the past 2 years, and I'll tell you this, I haven't spent a combination of 1 full hour in total with the mask over my nose and my mouth. I usually wear it like down like below here. I just find it ultra annoying.
Yeah, I don't like having things on my face. The thing is that you're supposed to wear the mask to protect other people, not yourself. That was the idea.
Well, that's what they say, right? But they
That was
also
the
say the
idea.
vaccine was supposed to help prevent spread the virus, right?
Yeah.
Trust the science. It just became like
Doesn't.
a cliche or a mantra or a slogan, which doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah, it just became a bit much in the end, didn't it? My friend's convinced they only brought it in so they could test out the iris recognition technology that they've got. I
Yeah,
mean, which I
that's
thought was
something that crossed my mind as well. Yeah, how do masks work? Like, how does facial recognition work with the masks?
the it's to do with
Interesting that
iris
you say that.
recognition. Yeah, it's yeah. The thing is, you wouldn't need masks for iris recognition because you'd still because they only focus on the iris. So what is that? Like, it doesn't make any difference, you know. Um, it doesn't make any difference at all if you wore a mask for iris recognition.
Mm,
We're getting into conspiracy theories here, though.
yeah.
We're into the crazy side of YouTube. Get Alex Jones on so we can work out and watch Fox News.
Have you seen the new packaging for the classic Guerlains, Habit Rouge,
Oh,
Heritage, and Vetiver?
absolutely disastrous. I'm not a fan of that at all.
Why is that?
Because it just seems like it's a money saving exercise, you
Well, they're
know?
already in uniform bottles. They're already in the Listerine bottles, all those, and they're just discontinuing the Listerine bottles and moving everything into these.
Yeah, yeah. It's exactly what they're doing. Um, they're doing that to save money, though, you know? Um, it just feels like it's just cheapening. It's just cheapening, girl on, you know? Like,
I think it's cheapening because
yeah,
if you remember, Habit Rouge and Vetiver used to come in very square shaped bottles like this. Like we're
yes,
going
that's true.
back 2 or 3 decades.
Yes, yes, you're right. They did. They did. But
I think, I'm not a big fan of the look of the Listerine bottles, but they work, they're easy to use. They're very ergonomic. They're easy. Like this is a big bottle to hold in spray, right?
yeah,
Like it's not it's kind of clumsy. It looks nice, but it's clumsy. Maybe you can hold it like this.
it does look nicer than it feels. The I've only got one of those, and it's the Lomadial EDP.
Yeah.
Total
Yeah, it's
pig,
a nice
total pig to use.
total pig, total cow. Yes.
It
No,
is.
I think it's a lovely bottle, but it's not very it's cumbersome.
Yes,
Cumbersome.
it's not as bad as the Encre Noir bottle. Um, that is the least easy to use and spray bottle that there is. You've got to use two hands, you know, and it's just an absolute nightmare. That's a pig. You should do a video about like the top 10 least ergonomic bottles that there are.
Well,
Um,
these are hard to contain. Like these 200 ml Celine bottles. You can see how much of a dent I've put in there. Like
it
that
is
is
a thing.
massive. For the whole
Yeah.
month, this month I've worn pretty much Celine like on business days going to work. So for full days, I've just worn like a combination of different Celines. But check these
I'm
out. If anyone that likes their designer exclusive, this is night clubbing. Like look at the dent I've put in there. These are really well made.
Do you think you'll get through? Do you think you'll get through a lot of that,
Who
or
knows?
do you think
I
you'll
don't
make it?
think so. No,
You know,
I
I'm
don't
more
think
into
so.
the
Here's
into the
Eau de
slow burn.
California. So Eau de California is very woody and vetiver, and it's got that Palo Santo. However, it does remind me of Sycamore and slightly a vetiver extraordinaire, and I think both of those are much better than this. This is kind of like an alternative to those.
Okay.
So if you like that style of woody, spicy vetiver, smoked woods, this is really nice.
I was
However,
looking at
it
a
does bow to Sycamore.
I was looking at a bottle of EDT Sycamore the other day. I found one on eBay for for £390 for the EDT. And I told the bloke I was ready to buy it. Um, in the end, I changed my mind. Like I spoke to a couple of people, you included, and this time last year I would have already bought that bottle. Um, but I'm trying to be a little bit more discerning at the minute. I'm trying to be a little bit more judicious in what I buy. Do I need 200 mils of Sycamore EDT? No. Will it improve my life? No. How will it improve the collection? Yes. But I reckon if I wait a bit, then I can get it cheaper. So if he decides to come down around the £300 mark, I'll buy it. And if he doesn't, I won't.
Right. Well, considering 200 ml of Chanel exclusives here go for almost $500 with taxes.
Yeah.
I saw a 200 ml of Sycamore EDT on base notes for $650, and I thought, all right, it's a lot of money, but it's not that much more than you're paying for current retail, right? And it's hard to
No.
find. It's discontinued, very rare. So how does Eau de California differ from Sycamore? Eau de California is weird. It does have that kind of Terre de Hermes thing to it. Kind of, I get this orangey ISO vibe going. Very peppery. It's peppery like Terre de Hermes, and it's not as full as Sycamore. It's much more airy.
Do you think that orange and ISOE Super are a good combination?
I think it's a combination that I'm used to seeing.
Yeah. Do you think it's a good combination?
Well, I think Terre de Hermes has mastered it. It's a good combination there. I don't know if it's something that I want to continue seeing. I don't want to see a trend develop.
Yeah.
That's where trends are what ruins things.
Yeah. It does
Anyone
get a
like
little bit more.
Declaration over Terre de Hermes? Ah, I like both.
Yikes. Someone's asking questions. I like
What
I
are
like
Chanel
Taylor
exclusives
Hernandez.
going for now? Let me quickly check because I know the prices went up, but I don't know if they've gone.
£330. So clear
Don't know if
the
they've gone up in
Lucy.
Canada yet.
So Chanel Queer de Russy's £300 in the UK now. Okay, now that can't be right. Some fucker on the internet is trying to charge fucking £275 for a bottle of Russian tea by Mask Milano, 30 ml. Piss off.
One moment. Ooh, so they're 460 Canadian. I think before the price hike they were 440. So they haven't gone up a whole lot here, $20. What are they US dollars?
No idea, but they're £300 in the UK, and I know they're going up to 330 soon. Do you work that out? They're going up 10% at a time. I was watching one of Sebastian's old videos today about Sycamore. It wasn't today; it was a few days
400
ago.
USD.
Yeah, yeah. I was watching one of Sebastian's old videos about Sycamore EDT versus EDP, and this
Yeah,
was when the first changed them over.
yeah,
And he was complaining the price of the EDP was $330, and it had just gone up to 350.
right.
And
And
I
today
was like, "Fuck."
we wish they would go back to that higher price
Exactly,
to 350.
exactly.
So would that prevent anyone from buying them? $20 price hike.
Not a $20 price hike, no. But
Like
the
so
thing
for us,
is that
they went from 440 to 460.
yeah, Canada's dollars aren't as strong as the American dollars. Went up $50 in the USA apparently.
Ooh,
That is pain.
that's a little bit selfish.
It's just greed, isn't it? Really, let's be honest.
I wish they would kind of offer some kind of reason for that when they keep rising prices. And I know they're just going to call it on economic times and their prices going up, but hell,
It's
our
not
wages
ten
aren't going
percent.
up at the same rate.
10%. It's not going up 10% at all. It's price gouging. That's what it is. They're just trying to make more and more and more and more money. They're just trying to increase their profit margin. That's what they're doing. Um,
Did
I think
Hermes
it's
discontinue Eau de Hermes and Bellamy? I don't think so. I don't think they will, and I don't think that they have. I haven't heard anything, but I'd be really surprised if they do. I'll keep buying them. I will keep buying them as well, Justin. I really enjoy what Chanel's putting out, and if everything else is going up, at the same pace, I would rather own a Chanel than pretty much any other brand. Am I okay with it? No, I'm not okay with it, but you have a choice, and you can buy or not buy, and only you can
that's
choose for
nice.
yourself.
And I decided against buying.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely, there's nothing wrong with that too. But I think they are the most expensive designer exclusive, aren't they?
which one?
Chanel's. The 75 or 250 US.
I don't know why that's such a strange fucking price. That isn't it? There's such strange sizes, isn't it? It's
75?
yeah, 75 and 200. Why? Like why 75 and 200? Why not 100 and 200?
Well, Dior has 125 and 250. Like, why 125 and 250?
It's just, well, 125 and 250 are like the 125 goes into
They're
250. Twice
right.
70
So
75 doesn't go
they're
into,
very nominal sizes, very
yeah, like
nominal
the makes sense.
increments. Right. I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. Celine does the 100 and 200 ml sizes. Hermes only does the one size. Actually, they do a 10 mil, but I don't think I would count that as a size. It's more like a travel. Guerlain only does one size as well, right?
125s.
In their exclusive range.
Yes. It's hard to keep up with what range is what though with Guerlain, isn't it?
It is. And they don't ever do anything to make it simpler. They just confuse us even more.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a bit of a nightmare to keep up with Guerlain at the minute. I don't know what they're doing. Um they're just strange. They're just
So Jojo says, I want Chanel to go out of their comfort zone with the constant use of iris aldehydes. Damn, I'm not sure if I I agree with that. I like their aesthetic very much, and even though they have this comfort zone, all of their perfumes are quite different from each other. I think La Pausa is pretty much kind of the base to all of them. It's that woody iris, which you find running throughout the line. La Pausa is probably the most simplest, ethereal uh, thing ever. I wore La Pausa today, and it's like sometimes I struggle to pick it up.
I tried Boy today, and on paper it fades after about half an hour. It's
Interesting.
shocking on paper. I was going to spray some on my skin, but I forgot.
I can pick up Boy all day, all day,
Maybe it's your skin.
10 hours. And I love Boy. A big fan of Boy.
Big fan of Boys.
No.
Boys.
Just just boy.
Just a boy.
Just boy.
Um, I'm
Let's not get it confused.
I what else have I've been buying recently? I got a haul today, but I haven't opened it yet. It's just of some backups. I got some Escada Magnetism. I got Eau de Sud by Annick Goutal. Have you ever smelled any Annick Goutals?
In passing, not enough to actually remember anything about them, but I remember, like, I do remember they were well made. I don't
Yeah,
own any.
I think you would like a couple of them. Um, they are well made. Eau de Sud's quite nice. I decided to get a bottle of that. It smells like limes, you know. It's really
Yeah, it
fresh and
was. It was.
oatmeal.
It was our. Sorry, Rich. It was our boy Galen that absolutely trashed boy, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right. Our
He
boy.
he was disgusted by boy. Actually, he had very harsh words to say about boy,
Yeah, he
and
really
he
wasn't a
actually
boy.
he turned in his whack pack
Card.
citizenship. Right? Yeah, his whack pack card.
He wasn't happy.
No,
I do. I remember that video.
I think he
Came as a
called it like
surprise.
there was something in it that had turned his stomach, and he found it disgusting.
He didn't like Encre Noir either. Do you remember that video? He really hated Encre Noir. He was like, I just don't see what people get about it. Um,
Don't remember
but
that.
yeah. He wore Encre Noir for a week, and he was like, "Oh, it's crap."
I don't remember that. Yes, Rudy, you're absolutely right. They do have that's all new. I completely forgot about it, and I was going back to their older lines. The older art materials had only 75 mil. Their Parisians for women were 125 mil, exclusive to that side. Their Parisian for men were 100 ml, and it wasn't until the last rebranding they did 100 and 200 ml. You're absolutely right. Yes, that slipped right past me. Outrageous pricing. Outrageous.
It is scandalous. Like it's almost as if
Outrageous.
sorry.
I don't know what Aura Fragrance is. Is that a boutique? Is that a store, a retail chain? I've never heard of that. It is scandalous.
Scandalous.
Between Jersey, Bois d'Azil, boy. Oh, shoot. I like Jersey for at home, a comfort scent before bed. It's very simple, very easy to like. It's not something that I'm going to wear to work when I want complexity and something to take my mind off of whatever it is it's on. Um, I think from these three, for a workday scent or something that I want to enjoy for a full day, I would go with Boy. As lovely as Bois d'Azil is, my personal preference is Boy for
I do not.
sparkling lavender, warm,
I do.
creamy vanilla. Might be a
Uh,
sin to go against Bois d'Azil. I know a lot of Chanelophiles might disagree with me, but my choice is Boy.
I don't like the jasmine in Blood Azil.
Really.
I really don't like it. Um, I think it spoils it. But I think jasmine and sandalwood's such a normal combination. Mm.
Yes, Bois d'Azil is fleeting, but it comes back. It never truly disappears, and it comes back when you least expect it, and that's the best part of it. It's one of those that do the hide and seek, right?
Yeah.
It goes away, you forget about it. It's like, hey, I'm here. Look at me. It wants all your attention. It's beautiful that way. I like those perfumes a lot, much more than obnoxious scents that just kind of like just pound all day. You know, yesterday I went ice skating. I took my youngest guy. We have an outdoor rink here, and I wore I don't know why. I just this came to my mind. This is Sultanate of Oman, Rojadov. and it's like considered one of the better frankincense perfumes because that's where the best frankincense comes from is Oman. And it is very, very loud. And it's like I never got any peace from it. It's like one of those nagging kids that don't leave you alone and they're constantly pulling and tugging at you, right? Like, hey, I need this. I need this. I want, can I, hey, daddy, 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 that kid, right?
Yeah.
That's what this is. It's like constantly there and it never disappears. And I'm sure the entire like skating rink area could smell me, especially considering that I had put on 10 sprays.
Oh dear.
Right?
10 sprays of a
But
loud perfume.
it's a
What did
very
that do?
aggressive perfume. I mean, it's lovely and all, but it's aggressive. And this is really not my thing. Like, I like this, but I do prefer those softer, more subtler things. I find them more classy and elegant. Right? This is just
Yeah,
just like constant bombardment, right? It's just noise, noise, noise.
I got that from I wore Rake and Ruin by both at London and it nearly killed us. I put about
Do you
8 sprays of it on for the first 2 hours. I thought I was going to die. Thought my eyeballs were going to melt out my skull.
do you like those sort of things?
Not hugely. I mean, Rake and Ruin's a particularly offensive smell. It's got smoke in the top, smoke in the middle, smoke in the bottom. And I did smell as though I'd like lit a fire and then the wind had changed and just like I had soot all over us, you know. It was so strong, it was eye-wateringly strong. It like almost gave us a headache, and I was like, "Fucking, what is happening?" Uh, yeah,
But do you
excuse me.
like when I say obnoxious, do you like that style of perfume, like loud fragrances that don't go away, that you can smell with every single breath that you take, that fill a room?
I like being able to smell myself, but not as much as what you're referring to. That is just too much for me. Um, like constantly, but I don't like it to go away for long periods of time either.
Right.
Like like Balenciaga Pour Homme, like I can smell it like basically all the time, but it's never. Oh, sorry, it's never so strong that I think this is too strong. At both at London, I got worried. You know, um, I was like, "Fuck, I'm gonna have to wash this off. I really don't want to wash. I've never washed anything off before."
Too
Um,
loud, too much, too aggressive, too bold.
yeah, too
It's like
smoky.
it has its own energy and makes a presence of its own, right?
Yeah, it feels like someone's fucking trying to suffocate you. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. That's what this is. Somebody earlier said that it doesn't last on them. I was like, this lasted me all day. Like at the skating rink, underneath all the layers I was wearing, I could smell it with every single breath. But again, I did overspray. And I mean, there is a time and place for this, and I think that would be okay. You know what I thought would be really good for a place like that is something fresh and crisp, like, and I'm not even joking, like Aqua de Jo, right?
Yeah,
Because it would just pop in the air.
yeah. But
I thought, what else would work? Aqua de Jo came to my mind. Um, Something very sparkling that would remind me of cold air, ice, snow, the reflection of light off of snow. Wiz saying we're losing you, Duck. Are we
losing
losing you?
us. You're not losing us. I'm just owning.
Aram
I'm just
saying
sorry.
Aram's saying we're losing you, and that can't be so because we started earlier today. We started
I
much
know
earlier.
it is. It's ridiculous. It's like one of the reasons I haven't been keen for a stream for a while. Like I've just been so tired. I don't know
Yeah.
what's going on. Um,
I,
I had
I
a
thought if
meeting.
we
I had a
started
meeting.
earlier, maybe we can get another part of the world to join us. But I'm not
Yes.
sure if I'm noticing any different faces. There's been a few, but not a whole lot.
Yeah.
Here's a face I haven't seen before.
Hello.
Cathal Conver. Yes, hello. This is a new name to me.
Yes.
But
I don't. I don't know. Like, I look at my analytics. Most of my viewers are from North America. Like, so I I talk to them. Um, I did I did a stream. I did a stream last week because I couldn't get one of my videos to work. I kept trying to upload this video to do with the YSL, like all my YSL perfumes in one video, call it family portrait, and it just wouldn't. It just, my camera, I was getting to like 20, 25 minutes, and then like my video would stop recording and the screen would go blank. And
How many
then
streams have you done?
two.
Okay, so I'm going to drop Rich Mitch's channel in the chat. He's at 799 subscribers. Everybody, please go and subscribe to Rich that has not so far. Let's get him to 1,000 and then 10,000 and then to 100,000. Here is probably the universe's most dedicated perfumista. I'm not even joking. This guy lives and breathes for perfume in a way that no other duck has.
No other duck. I
Or
heard about you feeding the ducks earlier. The ducks were happy, especially rice. The
yeah,
ducks
they were.
really appreciate
I had a
rice.
goose eaten out of my hand for a couple minutes, not for a minute, like for a couple of pecks. And it's so funny how like when they grab the rice, they actually peck at your finger, right? One was hissing at me. I'm like, I'm feeding you, motherfucker. Why are you like trying to bite the hand that feeds you?
Literally, they're so angry. They're so angry geese. Like a goose will break your arm with the greatest of ease. They're so
They're
raging.
so angry and they're so protective.
Yes. Like, don't come near me or I'll fucking break your arm, you bastards. Swans regularly break an arm in this country. You can't do anything to them though, because they belong to the Queen. Like, if you hurt a swan in this country, you get like in like proper trouble. You go to court
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
right.
Um,
Dude, here they cross road like they're everywhere. You can't get away from them. They cross roadways and they're not like squirrel. A squirrel will look both ways before it crosses the road and it has a half a brain, but a goose will take its time. Doesn't matter how many cars are flying down. And they just don't give a shit, right? They don't care how many cars are waiting to trample them over.
they're insane. They're like proper dinosaurs. They just think the world belongs to them. You know what I mean? Crazy beasts.
Rich, you're
Swans.
at 800 subs. Juju just became your 800 sub.
Ah,
Thank
nice.
you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, Juju.
I don't do prizes, but know that you have my know
Is
that you
that
have
the,
my thanks.
is that the secret to growing your subscribers is giveaways?
I don't do giveaways, so
I'm not
I'll
saying you
stay
do,
smooth.
but is that the secret to growing your channel?
No, buying subs is the secret to growing a channel. If you want to have like over 100,000 subscribers, buy them. Um, and then another good way of telling if somebody has bought them is to see how many comments they get on their videos. Like that School of Scent, he gets like 30,000 views per video and gets like 13 comments. You know what I mean? Such a dodgy little shit. Him 20,000 subscribers in like 2 months. Fucking what? Behave. I'm not having that at all. These videos are pish.
Anuj is in the house. Hello, Anuj.
Hello,
Anuj.
Anuj. I got your package
Anuj.
to
Sorry, go ahead.
I got your package today, Anuj. Thank you.
Anuj, you
Um,
owe me an invitation. You promised after New Year's, and I'm still waiting. I am a very patient human being. But let's make it
but
happen. Let's make it happen. Anuj has offered to have me come to his warehouse, and I'm hoping that he'll let me live stream or at least record some of the vintages he has. And it's only to share with the channel whether he wants to sell them or not, or I don't know what his thinking or mindset is, but I just want to talk about perfume and see fancy perfume bottles we haven't seen in 30, 40, 50, 60 years. But we're
yes,
just waiting on the news to connect so we can report back to our
connect.
loyal viewers. Anuj,
Well,
I'm waiting patiently. I am a very patient person,
we
but I
have
want this
a
to happen.
he has oh God, what was I gonna say? He has some of those vintage girl-ons that you love. Not everybody loves.
Mm.
That's what
Rich, what are some of the vintage guerlains that everybody must smell, must own, must be aware of?
Herit-
Or
Heritage Vetiver.
why
Vetiver,
did
definitely.
I know you're going to go after the masculines?
The mask. They're just the ones I like. Um, I would say Habit Rouge. I'm not a massive fan of Habit Rouge.
Why?
Um, it's so powdery. It's so powdery. I'm not a huge powder fan. There's certain powders I can deal with, and there's certain powders I can't deal with. Um, and that sort of overtly dry, feminine. It's like I was talking about the Bortnikoffs before. Oud Maximus has this incredibly powdery rose vibe in it, and it's very difficult. It's very difficult for me to to like think about wearing. Do you know what I mean? It it's so powdery. Like if you're into your powder, that's fair enough.
I love
But
powder. Powder is probably one of my favorite nuances. And Abi Rouge is said to be taken from Shalimar, right? It's the masculine Shalimar. Um, to me, it's not as it's much more abstract than that. It's not as figurative as a masculine Shalimar. I mean, yes, it's got leather and vanilla, but it's not as ambery. Like Shalimar is very golden. It's very woman's cosmetic powder. This is a different kind of powder, but I do like this a lot. Actually I love it. Um, and my preference is the eau de toilette. I find the eau de parfum, it's slightly animalic on me, and I think it's that oud note. Like this has a growl to it in the base. This is much more woodier. The eau de toilette is much more sparkling, citrusy. I find it more classy. I struggle with the EDP for some reason. I don't know what it is.
I think I've got the EDT,
I think it
and I just
wears
find
very heavy. It's a very heavy perfume. Very different
I
perfumes.
I find them both very difficult to wear. I find them both incredibly difficult to wear. Um, I like the dress code version. I think the dress code version is really nice.
Yes.
Um,
But sweet, sometimes a little too sweet for me.
yeah,
I'm really struggling with sweet perfumes and I want to be able to appreciate them. And I struggle. It's almost like I have to reteach myself to enjoy sweet fragrances. And
yeah,
I find myself like resisting that.
yeah. I get what you're saying about having to relearn to love sweet perfumes because they're the first ones that you tend to love. You know, because they're sweet and they're easy and they're accessible and they're easy to love because everybody loves like sweet things. The same reason that kids love like sugar and sweets, but like it's the first thing you unlearn as you get
Yeah.
deeper into the perfume hobby, isn't it? It's the first thing you think. It's like, oh, sweet perfumes are like for people who just wear perfumes when they go out, or like sweet perfumes are for like young people. Um, it's the first thing that goes, the first thing that changes about your taste when you start getting serious about perfumes is that you move away from sweet stuff. So it's hard to go back.
What are some of the worst sweet perfumes that you dislike? Or some of the best sweet perfumes that you dislike, or whatever, however you want to answer. And everybody else, what are the worst sweet perfumes? For me, I still struggle with Fev. I can't stand wearing Fev Delicieux just for its goopiness. And I always said it's like here in Canada, when you drink Tim Hortons, if you order it, you would say when you order a coffee, so this is our shitty Canadian coffee, you would order a single or a double or a triple. And what that means is when you order a double, it would be 2 cream, 2 sugar. And I've heard people order triple, and that's 3 cream, 3 sugar. And if you've ever had one of those, they are just so goopy with sugar. Like you can feel the thickness of the coffee. It's no longer just water, but it's if you've ever had sugar water. And when you drink it, you can literally feel the sugar rolling off your teeth. It's
Oh,
vile and disgusting. And that's what Fev does to me. When I wear Fev, that goopiness reminds me of sugar rolling down my teeth. And that's why I
Yeah,
strongly dislike it. It brings up that memory for me. And I drink my coffee simply black. I love black,
I love black.
unsweetened
I,
coffee.
yeah, I don't like putting sugar in tea or coffee. Like I've got to be honest. Um, I know what you mean. Like I couldn't imagine put like the idea of putting cream. Like, I'm not big on cream either.
No,
Not
me
because I don't
neither.
like it. It's just
Or
just
milk.
just the idea. I like milk. I like milk
Mm.
on cereal. Um, cornflakes and like milk is like a simple pleasure for me. Um, but the the idea of putting like that amount, like a trip, like I know what you're talking about by a triple. I get the vibe you're going for. Just the idea of it's just absolutely beyond the pale.
Does
I
anyone
can't
drink triple
imagine.
triple here?
I just fucking cannot imagine the idea of drinking like something like that.
I've
You
never
know?
had one of those fancy drinks from Starbucks. These caramel macchiatos. I mean, no, I've never had my own. I may have sampled or tried somebody's, but it's not something I would order.
I
Those
think I've
chai
had a
lattes, they're like $8, right? And I know some people that
yeah.
have 2 or 3 a day.
Oi, that's gross. Um,
Um,
it's too
Music for a
much.
while used to be something that was overbearingly sweet for me, and I don't know what happens. And this is another one. I feel like I'm getting off track here. Black tie. This went through many changes for me. When I first got my bottle, it was very different than my sample. And the first day I wore it, it was disgusting. It was absolutely vile and sweet, and I hated it just because it was goopy. And like again, because I hated it so much, I wore it the next day. And the more I wore it and the more air I put into this bottle, that sweetness seemed to fade. And it was the exact same experience I had with music for a while. The more I wore it, I'm not sure if it was my perception of it or just getting more air into the bottle took that sweetness away. But it's become like something I've become conscious of.
Yeah, I've for something for me. I think it's perception. I used to think it was air getting into the bottle, but I think saying that air getting into the bottle and perception changing are basically saying the same thing in that your opinion of the fragrance changes
Mm,
over time, um, whether it be air in the bottle or whether it be just your perception. Whatever happens, the effect is the same in that you don't feel the same way about it after a while of wearing it. You can grow accustomed to it, you know. Um, and it's interesting how that happens. Like music for a while, I really like resented the fact that the lavender was the same as it is in Beau de Jour. And after a while, I just came to realize that the effect is totally different, even if the note is still the same. You know,
yeah.
I came to respect it a lot more. Um, but the first time I smelled Promise, I was like, "What is this?" And then now it's like it's one of my favorites. It's fantastic. Could be my favorite mall.
Is Vanilla Van sweet? Rich, I'll let you answer and then is this live?
Yes,
It, if you're
this is
watching
live,
later, it will be live in the past.
right? It'll
Okay, but
be it's live now, right? But if you're watching later, it won't be live now.
that's what
It
I
would have
meant.
been live. It would have been live then.
Anyway, hello to all the people watching this in the past, the recording. Glad you're with us.
Hello.
Hello.
Um, do
Is Vanilla
I
Van sweet, Rich?
sweet in a natural good in a good natural way. It's not sugar sweet. It's not overly sweet. It's not a triple. It's it's got that natural vanilla sweetness that's
Yeah,
really
vanilla
nice.
is sweet.
It doesn't go too far. It's pleasant, it's pleasurable, it's it's good and it's tempered by the bitterness of the tobacco. You know how tobacco can be really bitter sometimes. It's
Yes.
offset. They're both offset. That's why vanilla and tobacco work really well together. They offset each other in a natural way. Really good.
Yeah.
Really good vanilla van. I actually got a couple of Les and Donadola since the last time we spoke. In fact, I've ordered another one. There's a place in France called Sens Unique that you put
Yeah.
me onto.
They had 20 off. Yeah.
Yeah, they had 20% off. So I took the liberty of getting some Les and Donadola 20% cheaper than retail. I
Mm.
thought that was
But
quite a wise move.
so I'll say, is Vanille Havan sweet? It's got sweetness. However, I think it's really nicely balanced with other notes. It has an animalic facet to it. It has leathery tones. It has earth tones, and also the tobacco. So it's really nicely balanced. I'm not going to say it ain't sweet. It's sweet, but a nice sweetness that I can tolerate.
Yeah, it's not sugar sweet. It's not fake sweet. It's not sucrose.
No, the
Um,
sweetness does it does fade away, and to me, it turns very churchy. I get a huge amber in the base that reminds me of dry wood in churches, pews, stalls,
Ooh.
books. Very churchy.
Is that on purpose? You ever asked Antoine
About
about Vinay Havan? Did he make Vinay Havan?
he did, and I think he's really proud of it too. We did speak about Vinny Havan. Yeah, we did. He told me the price of what it costs, and I was just like, wow, like it is a really expensive formula. Um,
Okay,
I won't say how much. It's just would be really unprofessional, but it
no,
is a very pricely thing to create.
outrageous.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it's one of their most costliest perfumes from a manufacturing standpoint.
So
But however, if you go back to when we had Remy on here, I think he actually mentioned the price. So it is out there. It's floating. If you're interested, go back and watch the video.
yeah, I'm interested. You can tell us after the video if you like. Um, but it's like Galen did that video about Amber Absolute, didn't he, with Christopher Lauderdale? And he
That's right.
worked out how much it was going to cost to uh, to make a perfume of that price, and how much money they made on it from that point. And it was just like, what? Do you know what I mean? It was just a bit. It was just like the markup is absolutely bonkers. Obviously, you've got to pay for the R&D, but I mean, once all the costs are covered, the markup on the perfume is madness.
Hmm.
Like,
There's a lot involved, and that's what I'm discovering now. There's a lot of
yeah,
fees that people don't see.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. You're
yeah,
paying at the minute. At the minute, for the you're paying for the like not the introductory part of it. You're paying for the part of it that like you say nobody sees. You're paying for the rest of the iceberg. Like you only see the tip.
yeah.
Like you know what I mean? There's a big fat amount of like the process that nobody gets to see. How far are on you? What's like? Have you got any update for the chat on the brand?
So the regulatory studies are almost complete, and I did get a list of all the ingredients that go into the perfume, all the naturals. Some naturals popped up that I was really surprised to see. I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, it's nice to see this, but I don't remember like smelling this specifically. Like, mint was a natural in one of the perfumes. In the third perfume, Rich. I'm not sure if you've smelled it, and I was like, I don't necessarily smell mint, but it has a natural of mint, and I think it's more to add a color and a texture than to actually come across mentholated.
It's mint, yeah.
Yeah, interesting
Outrageous.
how that works. Um, yeah, so I got a
But
list of
did,
all the naturals that went into the perfume. I've got I've gotten all the warning labels that need to go onto the packaging, things like that. So packaging is what I need to focus on next.
Okay.
Yeah. As far as the perfumes, like I said before, they're done, they're finished, they're signed off. They're probably, like, from what I've heard last, they're going to be filling at the end of this month. That's not 100% though. But packaging is what we're looking at next.
Outrageous. It's getting
Packaging.
closer, isn't it?
Yeah, it's getting closer. It's a much longer process than I've ever imagined. Um, but you can't just start doing things. It's just like playing checkers. You can't move all your pieces at once. Everything needs
Yeah.
to wait its turn in line. And that's kind of like the most interesting part, is how to coordinate all this. How, you can't, let's say, like, for your website, you can't start creating a website unless you have pictures, and you can't take pictures unless you have a bottle and label and a cap, right?
Yeah.
So everything has to wait its turn in order. And this is kind of like a huge learning curve for me. It's interesting. It's been a very interesting process, but one that I'm learning. I'm learning, right? I'm learning.
Yeah. Or it's just got to have like, have you got like everything registered in like different places in the world, so you know where you're gonna sell and stuff like that.
So this is, I do and I don't. And this is fascinating and not really all that interesting, but I'm going to sell in Canada and the US for sure. I'm not sure about the EU, just because shipping is fucking bonkers, man. Like, for me to ship anything is like, I'm paying $150 to ship a sample bottle to the EU. And I was like, how do perfume brands ship? It's just,
Yeah.
from a business standpoint, it doesn't make any sense. But and I thought, Remy's wife, who owns is so Remy runs the manufacturing plant that is filling my perfumes, the Atelier Français de Maitri, or materials. So his wife is the owner of Les Indemnidables, and they have also their boutique, beauty boutique, where she sells other brands from. And he said, like, she really loves your perfumes and she would love to stock and carry them. And I thought, okay, that's great. Anyone from the EU or UK would just be able to order from there instead of me having to ship. But I mean, we're still months away from that. And that's not 100%. It's a
Yeah.
possibility. It's a very good possibility, because I do want, as many people to try these for themselves. Um, and just to figure out the easiest way for logistics. But again, like, a lot can change from now until then.
Yeah. It'll be a fucking right kick in the tits if you can't sell in Europe. It's the biggest perfume market in the world.
Is it?
Yeah, Europe's definitely by far the biggest perfume market in the world. It'll be overtaken by China at some point, simply because of numbers. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah. I'm not sure how far back in the chat we are, and I do want to say something, and I don't want to get involved, and I don't want to cause any trouble. However, I do see that we have both Joey Cannoli. I am Joey Cannoli. Guys, go subscribe to I am Joey Cannoli, one of my favorite YouTubers, and we have Mr. Dan Smelly, 1977. Dan's offered for me to come on to his stream on Friday, which I have accepted. Plans have changed for me. I'm going to try and make it on Dan's stream. However, I would like for Dan to seriously consider having Joey Cannoli on there as well. And this is might be even me breaking bounds, but I'm on my own stream, so I would love for these guys to break whatever they have. Whatever beef they have between them. Hopefully, it's not as serious as it's being made out to. I would love for these guys to come back together. I do enjoy seeing Dan on Joey's stream and Joey on Dan's stream. I'm not sure if it's possible, but it's definitely it's up to Dan if that's something he's willing to do. But I'd love to see you guys come back together and squash everything, because I do enjoy both of you guys tremendously. And if I do end up on the Joey stream, it's not, it's not that I'm picking sides, or if I end up on a smelly stream, it's not that I'm picking smelly side. I don't have sides. I have, I'm on my own side, and I have a lot of love and respect and time for everybody. So I would really enjoy that. You guys can come together, squash this, and just let's have fun, right? We're all human beings. We're all going through stuff. Let's set aside our differences and come together, and maybe you guys can both grow and learn from it, and make this little community that we are in a better place, right? There's so much crap going on. It doesn't do anybody. It doesn't do anybody, a whole lot of good. Uh, think about it, Dan, Joey. Think about it. I'd love to see you guys together, and that's all I'm going to say about that.
Okay.
I hope that wasn't too awkward.
No.
But Dan's actually gone through this himself. He's released his own line of fragrance. I'd like to ask him like how his process was, because he's gone through all of this. Packaging is more of a headache than the actual frag in my experience. That's right, because this has been my case too. Because I when it came time to creating a perfume, I had a master perfumer work with me, and I'm very happy with what he's developed. Now the packaging is all up to me. I have to kind of coordinate this. So packaging is a very different territory than fragrance creating itself.
Oh yeah.
Not my package, Duncan. Packaging.
You have to coordinate your package. Oh yeah.
Who will release first, Eugene or Francis K? Damn, I'm sure they have dates set. And when you work for a huge conglomerate like that, you cannot miss those dates. And I don't know what those are, but anything's possible. I guess that's kind of the beauty of owning your own brand, is you can create a date and you don't need to hold yourself to it. I remember Frederick Hall saying that was the biggest change for him when he sold to Estee Lauder. When he was on his own, dates meant nothing, and he wouldn't release anything until he was 100% satisfied. But all that changed with the sale. When he said January 1st, it had to be January 1st, or there would be heavy consequences to pay.
Yeah. But Dior have just released like Dior on Sport and Dior on Cologne under Demaché's name.
I think they're just kind of pushing out the last of Demaché's
turds.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Demaché's really shit the bed, like really shit the bed, man. Really, he's really driven Dior into the shit house.
Yeah, they are. Like, it's really not good stuff. I really don't rate it at all. The lass was trying to get us to buy something. They're opening a Harrods sort of like, it's not an offshoot of Harrods. It's called Harrods H. Like they're opening like a Harrods like a Harrods boutique near where I live, in like the fragrance mall where I live. And not that I live in a fragrance mall, but you know what I mean. And apparently they're going to have all the new ones there. And I was like, yeah, fantastic, great. I've smelled half of them. They're shite. You know what I mean? I was like, I've got to be honest. It doesn't excite us. You know, the idea that they're gonna, all of like Spice Blend, Purple Oud, Diorama, Diorella, Tobacco Oud, Tobacco Law. I beg your pardon. Like, why should I be excited about that? You're saying like the sales associate was like saying to us as if it was like something that I should be like looking forward to, and I was like, nah, bollocks, fuck off, it's shit. I was like, well, why would I be excited about that crap? You know, and I don't think they realise the damage that's been done to their reputation. You know,
well, it's hard to define crap. Now, something crap for you and me is going to be different to somebody that's new into fragrance world, and somebody coming in new are going to smell those Dior Privés and say, "Oh wow, these are these are really good, and they're very different than what you're going to find at Sephora or Macy's or in the mass market level. And in that sense, they're quite good. However, for the 100 or so of us in here that are into more complex and interesting and daring things, they're not, they're not all that. And um I mean, they're not the worst thing either, but like I say, I always expect way more from Dior than what they're giving us.
Yeah, yeah, that's a pretty succinct way of putting it. Um, I'll tell you what you could do. I've just had this idea, and I hate to take it back to this, but the thing you were talking about with Dan and Joey, you could have both of them on your stream, and you could talk like not this stream,
Right.
but a stream like your channel, your stream, and you could try and sort it out. You could try and like mediate it if that's something that means that
Okay,
sort of thing.
here's the thing. I love, both Dan and Joey. I got a ton of respect for both of them, and I don't want that drama on my channel. I don't even want to
No, I
partake.
understand that. I
I
understand. It was
would
just a
love for them.
suggestion.
Like, I want to keep this more of a perfume channel, because the drama,
No, I get it.
I've been through that in my time of life, and I don't want it. Like, it's heavy. I don't want to go into that place.
No.
I much more enjoy talking about perfumes, and if we can talk shit every once in a while, that's fine. But I don't want to turn it into that. I'd love to
No,
mediate or just kind of help. I don't even need to be there. It could just be them two for all I care, and have them talk it out.
yeah.
But if it meant,
No, but I
bringing
tend to
them
agree with you. I tend to agree with you with what you said as far as like keeping it a perfume channel. That's what I want to do with mine. Um, and I think it's a good. Personally, I think it's a fucking good idea. I was just making a suggestion. It's
yeah,
neutral ground. It's
yeah,
neutral ground. That's all. That's
right,
the sort of thing I meant.
right. Or if somebody else has any good ideas, go for it. Doesn't have to be here. I don't even need to be part of it. It's not about me. It's about them two coming together. Uh, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see less drama and just more. Some people love drama, and that's great. There's nothing wrong with that if that's your thing. It's not really. I just want to like fucking. I want to remove myself from that.
No, I
You
know. I
know.
do as well. I don't like that. I've got to be honest. It doesn't appeal to me. I don't see
I
the
don't
point
like
of
the
it.
way I feel afterward. It's so heavy, and it's kind of ruins my day. Right? It's fun in the moment. And it's like, all right, this is really stimulating, and where's this gonna go? But it weighs really heavy. It almost weighs like a Roja Dove.
It's built on lies.
No, no, that's not what what I'm saying is Roja Doves wear like a parka. They're very heavy, and that's what heavy energy weighs like for me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's yeah, it's not so I've got to admit, like it's something if I never had drama ever again in my entire life, I'd be a happy man.
Yeah,
Life,
it does. It
if you
causes
think
me
about life,
stress.
yeah, like real life is full of drama. I don't like if I want drama, I'll walk out my front door. If I want drama, I'll put the fucking news on. You know what I mean? If I want
Yeah,
like if I want
yeah,
like if I want like bother, you know what I mean? I'll just put the fucking news on and then I've got bother in me living room.
yeah,
But really, I come here. I was me and you were discussing this a while ago. It's like for some people, like fragrance is like a really great escape.
mm,
It's a for me, and that's what it is for me. It's escape from like the shit of real life. You know what I mean? There's wars and there's pandemics and there's fucking illnesses and there's fucking like poverty and there's like all this evil and shit. But I can always go into my perfume cupboard and I can whip out a couple of fountain pen and just smell them and it just takes you away. You know what
yeah.
I mean? It's
Mm.
very, very good for that. I really, really love that about it. Um, and drama, just like it's
And
just
that's
oh,
that's kind of why I don't watch the news either. I don't keep up to date. It's like it's just it
so
weighs heavy, and
depressing.
then it's so easy to get caught up. Like there's been a few times where I've watched the protests in Ottawa, and it's you get caught up in it, and you start taking sides, and you get angry, and all these, and it's just like for what? Like What am I doing to make a difference? Nothing. I'm just sitting here getting angry over something that's showing up on my screen and I have no control over, right?
Yes, exactly. And it's just like, why am I doing this to myself?
Nautica
You
voyage.
know,
What
it's
do you think
just,
Trudeau smells of?
blackface.
I just said Nautica voyage.
Blackface smells of blackface. I couldn't believe that. I thought they were fake. Turns out it was real.
No, they're
I was like,
real on several. Like
what? I was
they asked him, "How
like,
many times have you worn blackface?" And he said, "I can't remember." Like he doesn't
yeah.
know.
I was like, what? It's like, I mean, even though it was like, I mean, fucking hell, I was young once. You know what I mean? I didn't wear blackface. You know what I mean? Like, what? Never mind, like when you're the son of the fucking president of like the prime minister of Canada. You know
Mm.
what I mean? Don't wear blackface. It might come back to haunt you. Don't wear blackface. It's wrong. You know?
So,
Jesus.
what do you think he was thinking of in that moment? Was he trying to
It's
be
funny.
funny?
Yeah, yeah, he was. He thought it was funny. He thought, look how fucking. And the thing is, as well, it was like proper extensive blackface as well. It was like he proper committed to it, you know, like he went ham on the blackface, and it's just like, what are you doing? Surely this is a terrible idea. Like,
Yeah.
but the thing is in his head, he mustn't have thought it was a bad idea, or he wouldn't have done it. You know, that's like that's the reasoning behind what he's done and why he's done it. He didn't think it was a bad idea. He thought it was funny. He thought it was good.
Like he's
He
privileged.
thought like he would. Yes, that's
Well,
that's privilege.
just like I
You
felt
know.
privileged in feeding the ducks today, even though there's a huge sign saying "Don't feed the animals."
Well, yeah, I mean it's slightly different. It's slightly
Right,
different
right.
thing,
But it was
but like,
privilege.
yeah, I get what you're saying.
But
It's like, yeah,
here is a very educated man, right? He's got the education.
yeah,
You would think he
I
knows
can do
better.
this. I
It's
can do this and fucking get away with it. That's what he's thinking. The rules don't apply to me. That's what he's thinking. You know, which is all right. Which is all right when you're fucking feeding some ducks. I mean, it's wrong, but it's not crime of the century. It's deviancy that.
right.
What he's doing is like elementally wrong. You know, like 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 the thing is, you're not president. You're not prime minister of Canada. You
Yeah,
know, the
yeah,
prime
yeah.
minister, the prime minister of Canada, the prime minister of Canada. Right now, that's not to say that he's dressed up in blackface as prime minister. But the thing is that like Eugene isn't going to be in the highest office in the land. You know,
Yeah,
he
I don't have
is,
that immediate
and
spotlight.
yeah, it's not just the media spotlight. It's that you're supposed to be like in charge of a fucking country. This is what we've come to in the last 10 years in the West. We've got a bunch of fucking idiots running the show. There's no standards in public life anymore. You know, like it's we could sit here and like say like, oh, we want our politicians to be real people, and we want our politicians to be like the best of the real people. You know,
Mm, yeah,
I don't necessarily want my prime minister to not be able to brush his hair like Boris Johnson. I don't want my prime minister to be an absolute liar like Boris Johnson is. Almost every word he comes out with is a lie. Like he does it without even thinking, right? And we all know people like that. We all know people who just lie with the greatest of ease, right? But they're
mm,
not the fucking prime minister, you know? They're just harmless idiots. But like these people who are in public life at the minute, you think of like, and we've all got them, you know, all these people who are in public life, like especially in the West in the last 10 years, we've just been absolutely shit at their fucking jobs, you know,
yeah.
left, right, center. It's like they're all fucking memes, and we're just sitting here fucking. We're the ones who have to fucking pay for it, you
Right.
know.
But all we do is keep absorbing everything they throw at us. And we just
It's
take
like,
it
well,
because we're told. It's almost like we want to be told what to do because we don't know for ourselves.
do you want to know what my thing is? If it
It's like
is right, it's that. Go on, sorry.
It's like humans are really dumb and everything needs to be dummy proof for us so we don't get hurt. And we
Yeah.
rely on government or religion or whatever to protect us from our own selves. That's what it
Yeah.
feels like. People can't decide for themselves what's right, what's wrong, what's good, what's bad. And this is what everybody else is doing this. I'm gonna follow along because I can't make a choice for myself.
Yes. Nobody's got the confidence. There's a distinct lack of confidence about, but I'll tell you something else as well, right? I happen to think that we are, as a species, right, living at the beginning of a revolution. And I don't necessarily mean a revolution as in the truckers and a governmental revolution. I mean like a digital revolution.
Mm.
Life is completely different to how it was 20 years ago. It is utterly, utterly unrecognizable.
We're never
You know,
changing at a faster rate than right now.
exactly. We are living at the industrial revolution pales into insignificance when you compare it to the digital
Right.
revolution. It's exponential. It's
Yeah.
massive. And it's we haven't figured out how to fucking deal with it yet, and that's what we're doing at the minute. It's growing pains. We're literally just coming to terms with the new world that we live in.
It's
You look
fucking
at you
scary,
look,
isn't it?
it's absolutely fucking terrifying. People will look back in like 100, 200 years time and they'll be like, what a time to be alive that was. No, it was fucking terrifying. It was absolutely, it's like the rug's being pulled from underneath where I don't know what's going to happen next. It's insane. It's absolutely crazy. You've got companies like Apple, right? With a yearly fucking like profit that's larger than like 170 countries in the world. You know, like the GDP of 170 countries in the world. It's insane. If Apple was a country, which is not to say that it couldn't be, it could buy out the country, you know,
Yeah.
there's like Apple, the company could just go to like an African state or a South American state or an Asian state and just say, yeah, we're going to buy the government out, and this
Mm.
is our country now.
Yeah.
You know,
It's amazing how
it's
few companies like control and dominate the greater part of the world and how much influence they have.
everybody always thought tyranny would come through from governments, and I'm telling you now, it's not. It's going to be these massive
Corporation.
private companies. Yeah, it's going to be
Right.
these huge corporations,
It seems like
and
they're influencing us more than the government is, and they've got influence over the
it is.
government,
Yeah, it is exactly. That's
and they're working
exactly what's
together.
happening. Yep. Well, the thing is that the governments can't stop them. And
No.
the good thing about the good thing about governments is that you can change them. The bad thing about corporations is that they'll do what the fuck they want, and you'll
Right.
fucking think yourself very lucky. You
And they're
know,
censoring us more than ever too. You can't say whatever you feel like because you will be deleted
the
and
private
canceled.
company, you will be in breach of the terms and
Yeah.
conditions that you signed,
What
and
kind
it's
of
not a
how's
law
that for
that's been
democracy or freedom of speech? There
exactly
is no freedom there. It's freedom to
exactly.
agree with what they want you to say, and if you have a wrong opinion, you will be deleted.
Yeah, exactly. If you have an opinion which goes against um, the accepted wisdom or um, stated the stated goals and influences of this company, you shall not be allowed to partake anymore. You will be disenfranchised by the company. You
You know
know,
what the worst part about this is? We've incorporated these places into our daily lives where we've become reliant on them in our need to communicate with other human beings,
yeah,
right?
yeah, totally. Right. There's another point as well.
And
Right. In that like these people, right? It's not necessarily that they could have private militias and private armies. It's that they wield such force that militaries and force of certain countries literally couldn't withstand them. You know, you look at how like Apple and Samsung operate in those cobalt mines in Africa, right? All they've got to do is threaten to pull out, and the economy would fall apart. You know, all they've got to do is grease like certain palms, and they can basically do whatever they want. They're operating with impunity, you
Mm.
know? We haven't figured out how to regulate these people yet, and they do need regulating. You know, all these people like who are like fucking all these people who are like anti-regulation and stuff like that. That's all well and good when your company is not capable of bringing down a country, right? But when you've got companies like Facebook, which literally affect opinion and the acceptance of fact, right? Then it's literally like something out of 1984. It's literally like you can't believe your own eyes and ears unless you read it on Facebook. The amount of people who get their fucking medical advice off Facebook is insane. You
Right.
know, it's crazy.
What has medication ever healed too, right?
Well, I mean, it
I mean,
depends.
we don't have a fucking cure for the common cold, and how how many fucking millions of years have we been around for?
Well, it just keeps changing. That's why you can cure last year's common cold, but you can't cure this year's common cold or the next one. It's all
The
about
only cure is
preventatives.
just rest,
You
sleep,
just got to
and
deal with it. Yeah,
yeah,
your immune
you gotta
system.
go through
Leave
it.
it to
There's
your
no
immune
cure.
system.
There's no tablet you can take for common cold, right?
Exactly. You've just got to deal with the symptoms.
Even
And
aspirin and Tylenol, it's not a cure for anything. It's just a mask, right?
yeah,
It bypasses the pain receptors, and that's what most medication is. I'm not a doctor. Do not take my advice, but
no, I'm not a
that's not.
doctor either. Though
That's
I do
why
have
I'm not a
extensive.
fan of medicine or
Yeah,
pharmaceuticals.
yeah. I mean, I just take what I'm fucking given me, like, because I mean, what else am I gonna do? I'm not gonna get any worse. You know what I
Mm.
mean? I'm fucked. It can only take the edge off. If you're gonna be ill, that's why people say you should cherish your fucking health. Like, you
Yeah,
know,
absolutely. Yes. You should cherish everything and have gratitude for everything. And then you'll
Mm.
realize like you don't need so much things if you're grateful for what you already have, especially things like your health, family, perfume.
perfume
Kind of in that
especially.
order, right? Or would you move perfume up?
I mean, um, my perfume's fucking, my perfume's fucking more important to me than fucking most things because I haven't got fucking most things, you know, like health and stuff like that.
Mm.
I think my health's fucked. So I mean, I'm not being morose. I'm not trying to be like fucking think. What I'm saying is that like perfume makes things better, you know. So I like to focus on the things that make us better. It's uh, it's uh, it's weird. It's weird. It depends. It depends.
Yeah, perfume is a simple thing that makes all of us happy. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
It's a very personal thing.
Oh yeah. I'm getting a nose.
How's everybody in the chat?
How is the chat?
We got 107 people. How's everybody's health doing? I hope everybody's doing well.
I
We've
hope
had
everyone's.
we've had kind of fucking streams been everywhere today, up and down, and
We're getting a
discuss.
lot out, haven't we? Because we haven't done it for a while. So I think a lot of
Yeah, that's kind of
pent
the
up
beauty of not
outrageousness.
seeing each other so often. See, there's good in everything. You can find good in everything, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I I think people should lick the stream.
Lick the stream. How many
I mean,
licks do we have?
how many licks do you have?
50 licks. Give it a licking. Give it a lashing. Whatever you want to do. Lick the damn stream. Lick the stream. What are your plans for this evening? It's still early here. I'm not sure how long we're going to be, but I think I'm going to go back ice skating. I really enjoyed myself yesterday. So whenever this is done, there's no rush. before the end of the night, I'd like to go skating. You know how freeing and liberating skating felt yesterday? It's almost like a form of meditation or feeding
Did it take
dogs.
you back? Did it take you back? Did it take you back to being young?
Yeah, yeah. I had a lot of fun, and my youngest has really been bothering me to take him skating. And I went in the garage and I found some old skates that fit him perfectly. So we went skating last week, and I was like, my skates are in the trunk, so I'll be fine, right? And then when we get to the rink, and I was like, I can only find one skate in my truck. I was like, where's the other fucking skate? This is weird. So I couldn't obviously skate, and I was like, all right, I'll just sit here and chill. And I was kind of relieved that I didn't have to skate, just because I don't know. It's just like I wanted to be distracted, and skating would have made me very like conscious, right?
Hmm.
There's that form. I just wanted to escape. And then yesterday we went back and I went skating and I really enjoyed myself. Like I could just enjoy myself in presence, and I just felt really grateful for the moments that I was able to enjoy and just have fun with my son, and almost feel like a kid again, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like the best times of our lives is having that, just connecting with that inner child, not having any
Yeah.
worry or stress or concern, and just enjoying yourself for what's in front of you at that time. And it was great.
You ever heard the saying that youth? You ever heard the saying that youth is wasted on the young?
Yeah, that's a great saying.
It is. It's
Meaning that
fantastic. I think it was Oscar Wilde. I think, wasn't it?
meaning that us adults can't enjoy it as much, right?
Yeah. Well, just meaning that if you were an adult, you would do so much more if you had the energy and you had the time and the inclination and being young. If you knew, basically, it's if I knew then what I knew now, sort of thing. You know, if I had all the experience and all the wisdom, would you go back and do make the same mistakes again? Probably not.
You
You would
wouldn't if
make
you had
different
the
mistakes.
wisdom, but you need to gain
Exactly.
that wisdom somehow, and usually it is through
Exactly.
mistakes. Mistakes are a
Exactly.
beautiful thing. Um, it's how you perceive them and how you react to them is what makes all the difference. But you got to learn from those mistakes. Otherwise, it's truly a mistake and a fuck up. But if you can learn from them, it's a great learning lesson. Plans for this
No,
evening: sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Alan Hansen, you go, buddy.
yeah, buddy.
You go. I do not need a box or a sled or a skate helper to skate, Rudy. No, I'm Canadian, man. We're born with skates on our feet. Most Canadians, not all, most know how to skate. I mean, it's really cold here and there's skating rinks everywhere. So I've been skating for decades. Did Gordie Howe wear Abbey Rouge or was that Wayne Gretzky? I'm not sure what fragrance they were. I am not sure. Um, yeah, exactly. Mistakes are for growth. A lot of people say, "Oh, they made a mistake," and they think, "Poor me." But you learn and you live, and you move on, and that's what life is. Like everything is always changing. Nothing ever stays the same. And if you become attached to that something being permanent, you're gonna suffer a lot of pain. You will suffer. Just let it go and accept the moment. Yes. I was sharing Roja Dove with the entire rink.
Roger Dove with a rink. Roger Rink. It sounds like a perfume that he would bring out.
Roja
Oh
Rink.
dear. Roger's Rink. Rink a dink. I I'm trying to think of what else. I bought Oriental Ballets.
All
I
right,
bought
tell me
Orient.
about the new pickups you got.
So I got Oriental Velour. and I got Ambre Supreme. I got Eau de Sud by Annick Goutal. Um, I got a backup of Escada Magnetism. Um, I got some Chorus Eau de Sport. I got some Chorus Fraîcheur, which is really nice. Chorus with pineapple, strangely, but it's really nice. Um, I got Ambre Supreme Oriental Velour.
Tanya
What have
Harding.
I got? I got a Scalen Haiti, which is a Les Indomptables cologne. And thinking about buying Ambra Aurea by um, Profumum Roma, but I want Zhao to get back. So somebody send him an email, actually. I forget I've got Zhao's email. I bet he thought I'd forgot that as well. Let's start pestering him, asking him about Profumum Roma. Billy Joel, what's wrong? Billy Joel keeps saying that he's blocked. Who blocked Billy Joel?
He's
He's not
not
blocked
blocked
on
here.
here.
He's blocked on another stream, and he wants to be free. He wants his freedom. That's what every single human wants is freedom, and we deserve to be free. However, I gotta ask, if you're blocked, what have you done? How have you played a role in that, Billy Joel?
Billy Joel, what are you guilty of?
Nobody gets
What
blocked
did you
for no
do?
reason. I'm not sure what the sensitivity levels are in places where you got blocked. That will play a role as well.
Yeah.
Where do you stand, Rich, like as far as blocking people? What do you think is our sensitivity levels here?
I block people for repeated infractions. Like if somebody says something bad on me, and then it's like, well, I mean, fucking nobody's perfect, you know what I mean?
Right.
When you do it repeatedly and do shit on purpose to hurt people on purpose
Yeah.
repeatedly,
Right.
you've got to go.
Yeah.
I just don't need it. I just don't fucking need it. That's why I block fucking cuddles everywhere I go. It's a fucking bellend. Like other people can like him all they like, and it's just like wherever he is, I just stay the fuck away because he's a fucking bellend. He's not a and it's like it's if I stay away from somewhere that I used to go, then it's because I don't want, and it's a personal choice. It's like I don't want to have to deal with your shit. You know what I mean? And I know
Right.
there's going to be shit. I'm not just talking about cuddles now. I'm talking about general blocking now. Um, if I don't block people as a matter of course, I don't block people, but it's when you see people when you see people being manipulative, when you see people just it's like I say, I go back to that quote from the ex-Man United manager. What's the key to success and longevity? Just get rid of the cunts. Just get rid
Right.
of the cunts. If there are cunts about, just get rid of them.
Did
You know
that
what I
make
mean?
national headlines?
What that? No, it wasn't a national headline. It was a piece in a newspaper. Um, Somebody like a journalist asked Alex Ferguson once. He said, "What's the key? Like Alex, what's like the key to getting rid of what's the key to like longevity and success?" He was like the best manager in the world for like 15, 20 years, and he was manager of Man United for like
Mm,
27, 28 years. Not an easy thing to do. Like it's unheard of now. And they said, "What's the key to your success?" And he's like, "When you're working in like a team sport or in life, um, the best thing to do is just get rid of the cunts."
so how
If
much
there are,
truth
if there
do
are,
you think that statement holds?
I think it is. I think it's an elemental. I think it's an elemental thing. I think it's very, very, very profound. Um, if you can just cast away bad energy, vibes, how people, whatever you want to call it, and keep the good ones close to you, that'll be like, and you don't have to be best friends with somebody to know that they're good. You know, like most people are good, and most
Mm,
people will bring something to you, but there are people who are drains, and they will take and take and take whatever they can from you, and they will fucking bleed you like a fucking parasite and steal all the nutrients in your life, and emotionally, mentally, philosophically, everything. They will take and take and take all for themselves and leave you drained with nothing else. And then they will just fucking simply move on, or they will just keep doing it until you eventually treat them by getting rid of them. And that's what certain people are like. Again, Cuddles.
Do you
Just,
think
just
do you think most of, like, talking about athletes and superstars, most of them come with an ego and that baggage?
doesn't necessarily have to be the case. No, no, I don't think most of them come like that. I think it's something that somebody in charge, somebody with any sort of judgment of character, can make a judgment on. If you're in a position to judge people's character, then you're in a position to do something about it. And there are lots of people in the world, like it's like me and you were talking about the nature of friends and stuff, and how, like, this was a private conversation. If you want us to stop, say. But we were talking about how, like, friends online are like different from friends in real life, unless like certain things you can do to like get to know people better. And like there are certain people you wouldn't miss if you didn't speak to again. There are certain people you would miss if you didn't speak to again. And what makes a friend, and how is it like different in like the modern age. And it's like there are lots of people in the world, right? And lots of them are good, and lots of them are bad, and lots of them are in between. And I think the key to success is found in that quote, in that keep better people together. Keep like the better people you know around you, and get rid of the people who are not good. And it's how you judge that, and how committed you can be to that, to seeing how successful you'll be. You know,
Mm,
if your aim is to be happy, or to enrich like the conversation you have, or to get emotional support from other people, then you need to judge the people that you're looking at and you're talking to, and see what you get back. All human interaction is a transaction. Me and you get something from each other, but we also
right,
give to each other as well. It's a normal human thing to give
right.
and to take. But some people will just take and take and take, and they will cause more problems, and they will not give anything, and they will take everything that they can. Um, and and I use that philosophy to see about like blocking people, you know. Um, like, do I need this person around us? Do I want this person around us? Do they make me fucking miserable when I think about their existence? Yes. And it's like, well, just fuck off. You know what I mean? Just get away from us. You know what I mean? It's like it is that simple. I mean, people don't want it to come down to it being that simple. People want to try and work through their problems fucking like how fucking like we'll go back to Cuddles. How Joey fucking put up with that fucker. I've got no idea. Fair play to him. You know what I mean? Fair fucking play. Honestly, right? Fair play to Joey. I've got no idea how he does it. He must have the patience of a saint. Um, but I'm not putting up with that shit. But Joey must
Right.
get something from cut. You know, like Joey must get. I can't take. There's like no for me. Like there are fucking, and for other people as well. I'm not saying other people have to fucking block them. You know, I'm not saying other people have to deal with them, but I won't
Mm,
have them anywhere near me.
right,
I'll just go.
right.
You know, that's fine. But
I think I think it goes
sorry,
back to the sensitivity level I was talking about earlier. Like, obviously, your sensitivity is probably higher than Joey's, right? And he's much more tolerant of it.
yeah, he's he's
Um,
he he obviously gets something from Cuddles that transaction is worthwhile. You know,
right. Right.
And that's fine. And I have never at any point said like like people shouldn't deal with cuddle, people shouldn't be friends with cuddle. I mean, I say that I've said that people shouldn't be friends with cuddle. I mean, if anybody asks us, I'm going to tell them that I think he's a complete dick. You know what I mean? If anybody asks, but I don't just go around offering the opinion. I don't go around saying, "Oh, don't be friends with cuddles." You know
Hmm.
what I mean? But if the subject comes up, I'll say,
Hmm.
because I'm not going to fucking hide it because I think he's a fucking nasty little bastard. I don't think he's the lovable buffoon that a lot of people make out or that he makes out. I think he's actually quite malicious. He's I do think he's genuinely stupid, like, but I mean, it's like because it sounds funny. It sounds like he's a lovable oaf, but I've seen enough from him. I've seen and heard enough from him to think that to just know that if I never spoke to him, I heard from him again, it wouldn't bother us in the slightest.
Hmm.
Like I said,
Well, I
go
know
back to that
he's
quote.
been nothing but critical of my stream here, and you know, he has that's his opinion, and what I refuse to do is like let his opinion define whatever I do, and you and I do here, as long as we enjoy ourselves. Uh, you know, unfortunately, he finds this stream very boring, which is, you know, it's his opinion and it's his right, but that's okay. We continue to enjoy it and we do what we love, right? I don't hold any contempt for him. Sometimes it's better to hold your opinion to yourself, but he feels the need to be heard in that sense.
Yeah, I think he's just saying that because he's not part of it.
Hmm.
Um, he's just saying that because he is on the outside. You know, if he was
Right.
involved in this, he would say it was the greatest thing in the entire world. He's got absolutely no integrity at all. By the way, I have just fucking mistakenly hidden Speed Wolf on your channel, and I am so sorry. Um, and
Like for 5 minutes or
I
completely
don't
wrong.
know. I don't know whether I've done it perfectly. Um,
I'll go
I've
back
done
in
it.
later
I've
and
done
have a
it.
look.
Yeah, sorry about that. I really didn't mean to do that. Like, um, I've done that's like the third time I've done that to someone here as well. I've got fucking fat hands. Um,
I have no contempt towards Cuddles or anybody else. You know, it's I try not to let anyone define me or kind of change or censor me for that. I think that's what people try to do is when they criticize you, it's almost like a, you know, they don't like this, they want something to change, so they're trying to censor you, and that's the last thing I want is for somebody from the outside to censor whatever it is that we do here.
yeah,
It's that easy, right? I'm, you know, sorry that it's boring, but not sorry. You know, I enjoy perfume, and that's what we want to talk about.
yeah.
And everybody's
It's
free to do whatever they want, right? And then
do
you're
you know,
free to go wherever you want and watch whatever it is you like.
yeah. Um, it's yeah. It's I think Catherine's got a good point as well. There's nothing wrong with it because it did take a while. I did tolerate him. I tried to for a long for a long time. And I did, and it did take a while for us. And then I just there was a couple of things I saw from him where he was being particularly manipulative, where he told a couple of lies, and I just thought it confirmed um, the just me prior opinion of him. But to go back to what Catherine said, holding on to the negative feelings after the deed shows they're still on a piece of you. I would agree with that, but I am I am I don't ever talk about them unless somebody else raises them, and I don't think about them. So I'm halfway there, Catherine. I'm getting there, man. I'm getting. Zhao is here. Zhao, I'm thinking about buying Umbra Aurea. What do you reckon? I'm also going to get a sample of the Fiore di Ambra. Speed Wolf is free. I
Yeah, I
managed to
saw
press.
that.
I managed to press undo, I think. So thank God. Deepest apologies. Deepest apologies. Hear ye, he says. Oh God, Galen's here. Yuck. What are you doing here?
No, I'm not. Damn, I missed the call. I don't think this is ever going to happen, but
What's
you
this?
never know, right? You never know. You just never know. And that's what I mean by everything's always changing and nothing ever stays the same. The people in your lives today might not be here tomorrow, and the people that aren't in your lives today might be. You never know what's waiting. And that's why I'd rather enjoy my life than kind of trudge through it and separate myself from things that hold me back or weigh very heavy. It's not a good feeling, you know. One thing in the last couple of years, I've really, in self discovery and just kind of, I keep going over this, but I just found like a really deep appreciation for love and discovering love, and not everything has to be angry. I was a very angry individual, and I no longer want to be that person because it is heavy. And I'd much rather surround myself with people that care and support than weigh me down and drag me.
Yeah.
And
I feel the same, but it manifests in a different way.
sure,
Like
and whatever works for you, whatever works for you.
yeah. Duncan wants to know if you've ever tried Heritage EDT.
I do, and it's my preferred preference in the concentrations. I've got vintage Heritage EDT. Absolutely beautiful. Get it.
Get
Get
it.
it. Get it.
Get
Just
it.
right now. Go buy it. Yes, Early Greek's been on a live stream here once, and he is always welcome. He is in a private chat with us, but he's also a very busy man. And if he's ever free, he gets the link quite often, and it's just up to him to hit it or not, as
He's
well
a
as
fucking
Galen.
hard,
But I know
hard working man.
they're both very busy.
Yeah, he's a hard working man, is Thomas. Fucking grafts his arse off, like
He's got lots of perfume to buy, right?
that's right. That's right. Do you think he's got more perfume to buy than he's already bought, or do you think he's like your greatest hits are yet to come? That's like more of a general question than towards Thomas, I should say.
Sorry, say
Do you
that
think they're
again.
gonna, so do you think, right, you are going to buy more perfume in future than you have already bought, or do you think you have bought more than half the perfume you're ever going to buy?
Are you asking me?
Just generally, yes. I made the point about Thomas, but I think it applies to everybody. Do you think you've bought more than you've bought more than you're going to buy in future?
Yeah,
I
I
have
can't
not,
see
I have
my
not put
collection
that
doubling.
question well. Yeah, I
I
can't see me
I
collecting
can't see
doubling
my
away.
collection doubling. Uh, this is like right behind me here. This is everything I purchased last year, and it's
Right.
about half to about no, it's about 1/3 of my average going back. The last 5 years. That's about one
Yeah.
third of my like yearly haul. So
I've,
my yearly collections are slowly, like, the numbers are going down, but I'm also very happy with my collection, and I don't know how many things that I can add will actually improve it.
yeah, I've been taking that sort of angle recently. I've also been doing something else that you did, um, and writing down everything I have bought so far this year, and that really helps to visualize the whole the whole aspect of like overconsumption, like overbuying, over
Mm,
purchasing.
yeah,
My goal this year is to only buy stuff that is either as good or better than what I've already got.
right.
You know,
Yeah,
I'm also thinking about letting a few things go. Um,
I think about that often too, but it's
letting a
time
few things
consuming in the
go.
process to it of letting
Yeah,
things go.
Yeah, it's a fucking nightmare. Like if someone would just turn up at my door and take the shit away, then I'd be like more than happy. I'd be more than happy to part with stuff, but I've got to put it on eBay. I've got to fucking advertise it. I've then got to post it. I've got to deal with the person who's actually buying the fucking stuff, and they'll be like, "Oh, there was like a fucking like a mark on like the base." You know what I mean? You know what perfume collectors are like? It's like, oh, there was like an I where there should be an E, or there's like fucking this isn't right. I want my money back. And it's like, oh, fuck off. Just have it
Yeah.
and smell it. Just have it and
Deal with
smell it.
people's bullshit, right?
Deal with people's neurosis. Can't be arsed with other people. Wesley Garlick, I saw that you were on a stream. Wesley Garlick was somewhere earlier, and he said that it's his 11-year anniversary, him and Alan.
Him and Alan Hansen. Yes. Congratulations.
Well done, Wesley Garlick. Congratulations to the Garlicks.
Awesome.
Just talking, I like me and me. 11 years is a long time these days. You know, it's a hell of a long time.
Oof. If you can get over that 7-year itch, you're in the clear. You're in the good. As far as I'm concerned, I'm over it. I'm done. I am done. I'm done. And I'm not bitter or resentful at all, but man, they are, relationships are a full-time job and they're not easy to maneuver. But I'm fucking free coasting now on my own brilliantly. Done.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
willing, done. And
26,
love is a
maybe.
beautiful thing. And I
Fucking
wish everybody finds love and happiness. But I've experienced love and enjoyed it, very much. But I'm happy to be in the place that I'm at. So this works for me very much.
brace yourself for this one. Michael Harness has been with his partner for 26 years.
Good for you. That is brilliant.
20.
That works. That's amazing. I'm happy to hear that. There's no
That
right
is,
or
it is
wrong.
amazing.
There's
Yeah, it
no
is.
right or wrong way to live your life. If you want to share it with somebody, brilliant. I hope it works for everybody. But being alone works for me. I love it.
Yes, I would agree. Being happy
I
with
love
it,
it.
be
Sometimes I wish
20.
I had somebody here physically with me to share like a coffee or go for a walk in the park and just share some thoughts, get some feedback. But that may or may not happen. Who knows? I've got Rich for that. Rich fills my needs, and I can talk to Rich, and I can talk to him in a way that I never feel judged, and I love that. Like I love that about our interaction with you privately. Whatever I
Yeah,
tell you or share with you, I get feedback, and it's without judgment. And that to me is unconditional love. Is accepting somebody for who they are without judging them. That's the highest
yeah.
form of love. And so thank you, Rich. I do appreciate you in that sense.
Thank you. Yes, I enjoy our interaction as well. I get a lot from it as well. You know what I mean? Like it, like you said, like I was saying before, it's the interaction, it's the back and forth. I really enjoy it. I know I can talk to you about things and tell you things, and I like listening to you,
Mhm.
like talking. I like listening to you talking about things like that. You know what I mean? So it's like I enjoy that, and I enjoy telling you things as well about like what's happening, and like you say, it's no judgment, and we're just like we were talking about like online relationships and stuff like that, and how like how they can work, and how like you're getting your needs met. You know, it's like how do you get what you want from someone else, and it's a basic human need, and understanding that, and it's something I've come to sort of understand as I've got older. It's like I think we're both seeing the benefit of each other being a bit older. You know what I mean? And a bit more sort of mature and like learned, you know what I mean? Maybe we wouldn't have got on as well if we were both 10, 15 years younger, you know? But
I
we're both
strongly
in,
agree with that. My viewpoints, my worldviews were very different. The way I interacted with people were very different, and it took me a long time to kind of straighten those out. And I'm so happy that I'm so happy for my journey in life and the path that I've taken to get here. And
Yes.
every single day I keep learning about myself, and I wouldn't change any of it for, anything.
Yes, I think as well what you've got to understand. I'm not going to go back on to talking about cuddles, but what I was going to say is that you have made some changes in yourself, and that's always the only way that the only way that you will ever find like happiness and progress is by doing that yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can get help from your friends, you can get help from your family, but still have to do it yourself. And some people can do it, and some people do it, and some people won't, and some people can't. And you have, and I think it's a lot easier to be friends with someone who can help themselves as well, so that you can help them. You
Yep.
know, it's
Mhm.
it's it's and it's very hard to be friends with some certain people who, and it's not, I'm not just talking about him, I'm talking about other people as well, because like life's full of people who just will literally come up to you and just dump on you and drain from you, you know. um and it's that's just like it's judging people, like who's worth investing in and who's not, and who's there to help and who's not,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
how you can, and it's if somebody's willing to put the time into themselves, then like they're worth the time, you know what I mean?
Right. No, Bobby's saying you guys are in touch with your sexuality. I mean, yeah, to express your love for another man doesn't mean anything. They're just, rich to me as a human being. I don't care if he's male, female, or if he's chopped his unit off. Makes no fucking difference. It's the person that he is that I love about him. I don't care what he looks like or what color his skin is or what his faith is or what his political viewpoint is, as long as they don't get, uh, he's not judging me for mine and I'm not judging him for his. This is a human loving a human relationship. Nothing weird
Yes,
or fancy about it.
it's you like the things the other people say. That's the best thing, it's the whole Martin Luther King thing, people being judged on the content of their character, you know. And it shows, I think what you've done over the last couple of years shows genuine character, you know,
Yeah, it's
like
character building to get to know yourself is amazing. It's amazing process for me. I can feel the evolution and just kind of enjoying life for what it is without expecting anything from Rich or having any kind of attachment to him. And I've said this to you before. You're in my life right now, and if you go one day and not happen to be here for whatever reason, you decide that you don't want to be a part of this, I wish you all the best, and I will not hold it against you or anyone else, right? It doesn't mean
yeah,
I stop loving you. It doesn't mean I'm angry with you or upset, but that's just the way I see life now. Things are
yes,
always changing. People will come in and out of your life, but
yeah,
you've showed me so much love that that's not going to change one day just because you're not here anymore. Because I'm
yeah.
going to remember all the times that you were here.
So what I think you're saying, and what you're doing is that you're saying you have found within yourself a strength and I mean, I'm using such, it sounds like a fucking motivational speech, but it's like you have found within yourself now, like the self confidence and the self assuredness to know that you can rely on yourself, and other people are good and you can get things from other people. But at the end of the day, Eugene is Eugene is Eugene, and you have yourself, and you can trust and rely on yourself. And that's what makes it easier for other people to trust and rely on you, so that you're not the weakest link in the chain, but a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. You are part of something greater, but you're also setting yourself as well. you're also like good with yourself. You're better with yourself. It's getting better, improvement, you know. And I think that's a really good point. I think it to say that you're probably a lot more calm and at peace with yourself than you were 3, 5, 10, 15 years ago, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely. And for me, it's just being a process of learning that, I'm enough. I have everything I need without needing anything outside of myself. Right. Even
yes.
in those
And that
moments of
makes,
Even in those moments of being alone, those are temporary and fleeting and they're going to come and go, but how you deal with them is what's important. And knowing at the end
yes,
of the day that, my heart is open, I'm full, I'm accepting, I'm trying not to judge people for having differing opinions of me, even though those opinions are against me. I'm understanding now where those opinions are coming from, what kind of forms those opinions, and it's got nothing to do with me. You're expressing whatever internal battle you're having with yourself. You thinking my
yeah,
stream is boring has nothing to do with me being boring. It's your need for stimulation,
yes,
your need to
yes,
constantly be having your mind going at 1,000 miles per hour. Got nothing to do with me. My stream, there's 100 people here enjoying themselves, right?
yes,
One person doesn't get to
exactly.
define what's happening here.
Absolutely spot on.
And
It's your,
I've learned that there is no good or bad in this life. Everything is neutral. It's you who decides what, you know, through your past experiences, what you're going to label as good or bad.
yeah, it's everybody's the hero of their own story. Um, and everybody thinks that their opinion and their perspective is right. And as you get older, as you mature, as you grow up, you realize that that's like not really the case. Um, and that's not only the case. It's not just that. It's when you get stunted, when you get stuck somewhere without knowing and accepting that, like your words and your feelings and your energy and things like that can affect other people. You
Mm.
know, what credence do you give to the fact that like you can hurt other people, you can damage other people, and how do you feel about doing that, and how prepared are you to do that? And some people are just prepared to just not give a shit, you know, about
And
other
that's
people.
fine too.
It shows a lack of maturity. It shows a lack of maturity.
People can show that they don't give a shit or criticize, and that's where I kind of put up my boundary, and I'm like, all right, that's fine. You're free to say and do whatever you want. However, I'm going to remove myself from this because it doesn't benefit me in any way and it's dragging me down. So here's my wall, and please don't come into this space. Right? You're all free to
Yes,
say whatever it is you want. Everybody has the
but
freedom to.
I'm free not to have to listen to it. Everybody can have their opinion, but I don't necessarily have to listen to it. I think that's
Absolutely.
it. I think that's gets forgot. Everybody talks about freedom of expression, freedom of opinion. I can say and do what I want. It's like, well, yes, but I don't have to go along with it. If everybody else was jumping off a fucking cliff, doesn't mean I would do it.
That's right. That's right. And there's been many people, from these streams, from the perfume world in my own personal life that have come in and out of my life. Some have been great relationships, others not so much. I don't wish harm to any of them. I wish them all the best. I wish whatever it is they desire, I wish they find it one day. No hard feelings to anybody.
Yeah,
That's just how I feel. I've got no resentment or I've got no anger. I just feel very peace and calm, and that's what I want. Like going forward, I just want to live in this calmness, and that's very possible by what I allow into my life.
that's right. You should have you should have the sort of people should respect your boundaries, because I think that's just like a normal human thing to do. Um, like everybody should respect other people's boundaries. If you can see that other people are fucking uncomfortable and stuff like that, well, just like, don't
Mm.
force the issue on people. Um, it's 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 strange though, because a lot of people will project. You know, a lot of people will project their hang-ups and problems onto other people, seeking.
Right. And Bobby's saying, Eugene, when you and Crystal kicked that brand new bottle of Sauvage into the moose pasture, that was my space, dude. But again, like you came into my nothing against you, but you came into my space. I didn't come to you doing it, right? I'm not pushing it in your face. This is my space. You know?
Yeah,
I'm in my home here. And if you get to decide whether you want to, everybody's welcome, but you get to decide if you want to come in or not. And I get to decide, if you come in and the way you behave and react, I get to decide if I want to continue this. You know,
yeah,
I get to respond to your response. And that's kind of, that's a contract that every human has in every interaction. Everything is a contract.
yeah, yeah.
You get to
It is.
decide what you allow.
I was gonna say, yeah, everything. People don't realize that almost every interaction, like every interaction, is like a. I'm not necessarily talking about Bobby here. I'm just like making a more general point. Like every interaction is like a two-way sort of like a two-way thing, between people, because we're social.
Mm,
Um, it's like every time you do something with someone, it's almost like a transaction.
that's
It's a
right.
very like transaction makes it sound like financial, but it's not. It's
Right.
sort of like, I get this from you, you get this from me, and that's just the way people are made. You know,
Yeah.
unless
Right.
unless like unless there's like something wrong with people, and there is plenty wrong with people. Um,
That's not to say we're
otherwise,
perfect. I'm not perfect at all by any means. I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but this is what works for me.
yeah,
This is what
yeah,
keeps
I
me
would
in,
say.
in my like safe. Not that I
Oh,
need protection.
This is Mr. Duck. I could buy some of your perfume, but I'm just 2 hours away. Where are you? Nice picture.
it's
There you
just
go.
2 hours away. That's a long time. That's a long way. 2 hours. In which direction? 2 hours in which direction? It's not by flight, is it? To be fair, when I say that, I mean, really what I just want to do is I would ship them to you. I'm not like a dick. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that I wouldn't sell them unless you came to me house. You know what I mean? But I would ship them to you. It's just it's more the taking the picture, making the listing, fucking having to like do things, you know. But
Alan
yeah,
Hansen, kiss me, you fool.
kiss me, you fool. That's right. We're like Alan Hansen in this house. I didn't know Alan Hansen was with. Is it Alan Hansen with Wesley Garlick?
That's right.
Is it? Is that? I didn't know that. So
Steve
yeah,
Tampin
all
says
the
he is an hour away from you, Duck, in
who?
Stockton on Tees.
Oh, I used to live near Stockton. Whereabouts in Stockton do you live? I used to live in Eaglescliff. Outrageous. There is actually a northeast. There is a northeast of England frag com. There was a kid called Christopher. I don't know if he still gets on here. I used to live in Darlington. Um, there's me. Um, there's like other. I expect there's other people as well. Um, but yes, I used to live near Stockton on Tees.
Afro
I used to
Iron
live
Knight says he's in Edinburgh.
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh?
E-
Edinburgh. Edinburgh.
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh.
Outrageous. You're in Scots. Outrageous.
Yoshi's Yashi says don't let him in your house. Ooh, what is that supposed to mean?
Don't let them in your house.
He's he's
I
from
live in
Edinburgh, Duck. Don't let him in your house.
a No, jocks are just like Geordies are just jocks with a bang on the head. That's what they say. Very
Uh,
similar to the States.
Steve says madness. I live in Norton.
I don't know why that is. Isn't that Mr. Smelly's last name? Do you live in Mr. Smelly?
Huh?
That's Mr. Smelly's last name, Norton?
No, Norton. Norton. He lives. I
Oh,
live
shit.
in Norton.
Thought he was like, I live inside Mr. Smelly.
Are you far from Smelly?
Yeah, fucking like 5, 6, 7 hours. He lives down south. I live up north. He lives in Kent, I believe. He used to live in London. Probably got sick of paying them London prices, though.
Fuck. Housing has become outrageous. It's completely mental.
It's just London's insane and has been for quite some time. Like, you'll pay like the best part of £10 for a pint in London, man. It's fucking
Ooh,
obscene.
shit. The last time I've been to a bar, beers here were about $5. An import was probably about 8. Like a good import was 8 Canadian
Okay.
dollars. I have no idea what they are now.
If you go to London, you'll pay a fuck's sake more than that. You'll pay about 3 times that. But if
For
you go
beer.
to, probably, yeah, for a pint, like 564 milliliters, I think, is a pint.
So how
So you're
much would
talking like
that cost?
half a liter, probably about 8, 9 quid. So you're talking probably about $17.
Shit. Damn. Damn
And
fool. That is not cheap.
that is obscene. Imagine trying to go out and get pissed. You know what I
Oh,
mean? Like you're talking like 5, 10, 15 pints. Depend on what you drink. It's but I live in the northeast, which is the poorest part of the country. So everything's cheap as chips up here. It's fucking fabulous.
fuck.
Um, I couldn't do it. I fucking could not live in London.
You don't
Like I
drink,
know,
do you?
no, I don't drink. Thank God, no, I don't drink. I couldn't do it anymore.
For any
I just,
specific reason?
I just got over it. Plus, I'm on a lot of pain medication as well, so it's like, you know what I mean. I don't want to be drinking on some of the medications I'm on. I'll be fucked. Type of thing that if you fell asleep, you might not like wake up again. If you're pissed. Um, but I was never hugely into drink. I would like I've always liked my car. I live a little bit in the countryside, so if I don't have my car, I literally can't go anywhere. So if I'm pissed, I'm stuck in the
Oh,
house. What?
I like the way you
Car,
say caw.
car,
It's
car,
like you're French and you're rolling the R.
car, car. It's
What
just
is a
the it's
beer
just
at
the
like a soccer game, a football game? What would a beer are
well,
beers more expensive there?
yes, but you're not allowed to drink alcohol within sight of the football pitch. You have to drink it in the concourse. You are not
What?
allowed to drink. It's all to do with the hooliganism. Not that we have hooliganism anymore. We had a massive problem with hooliganism in the 80s, and then we had stuff like Hillsborough, um, which they tried to blame alcohol on, and they tried to blame everything, but it wasn't. It was bad policing.
Do you
Um,
remember the match where a bunch of fans got crushed by the
that's
gates?
Hillsborough. Yeah, that's Hillsborough. They tried to blame that on alcohol, but it wasn't. It was the police basically,
That
and
we're
the
going
police. The
back
police.
30 years probably.
Yep. Look up Hillsborough. The the it was it the newspapers, like, because there was Mrs. Thatcher was in government then, and she was like a big thing for the police. She was like a big on law and order and stuff like that. And the media, Rupert Murdoch's media, um, basically tried to spin it that it was the fans' fault that it happened, saying that loads of them had tried to get in. But what had happened was it was a failure of the policing, and a failure of, because the police run the security at the games,
Yeah,
and the stadium had a fence,
that's
and
expensive security.
well, I mean, fucking, it's the best way to do it. It's probably the most effective way to do it, because they've got stewards and stuff like that. But if it gets wide, then the police are like the best like to do it. You know what I mean? They're trained to do it. Um, but we've got a history of, like, because it's the work in this country, football's the working man's game. So like you'll find like especially when there was like social unrest in the 80s, you would find that a lot of people would take their anger out when they went and got pissed. When because there was a lot of social and economic changes. I mean, I'm fucking getting right into it here, but there was a lot of social and economic changes in the 80s, and it was brought in by Mrs. Thatcher. And people would go to the games and they would take it out on each other, and they would take everything out
Like
on.
repressed emotion or suppressed
Yeah,
emotion.
yeah, it was bad
It's
stuff.
like
Nobody enjoyed it.
boys suppressing their inner child.
Yeah, it got to the point where like fucking people were like, I'm not taking the kids to the match because there'll be fucking hell on and somebody will get hurt. We've got a really bad reputation in Europe for it, deservedly so, because every time we left the country, we just took the violence with us. You would have stuff like firms, which would be like groups of hooligans from each club who would like arrange to meet up and fight each other, which wouldn't be such a fucking problem, but it always spilled out onto the streets and innocent people got hurt. Um, and it took years to fucking sort it out, and we're in a decent place at the minute, but it still happens.
It's
It
crazy. I
still
don't think
happens.
we have anything like that in North America that intense.
Oh, it's
Like,
it's it, it,
I know
it,
that a couple of Toronto Maple Leaf games, there were some players that would fight with the fans. Like during a game, one guy fell into the penalty box while like the one of the roughest, toughest hockey players was in there, and they ended up getting into a fight. But you don't really see like that hooliganism in
yeah.
North American sports.
The thing is with Britain especially, you've got to remember Britain has always been a very tribal place. Before, I mean, you're going back thousands of years now, but we had tribes in this country, and then we had feudal. Then the Romans came. Then we had fucking feudalism, um, which meant that nobody moved from that community up until about 100 years ago. Um, and then what happened is, like, especially in the north, but it definitely happens in the south as well. You've got literally your tribe will go down to somebody else's tribe, and you will have away fans who go to watch the football, and basically everybody goes there and rips the fucking piss out of each other, um, like remorselessly. We'll say like some of the worst chants you'll ever have, like taking the piss out of aeroplane accidents, um, taking the piss out of like fucking sex offenders, taking the like if like a football player's like committed some kind of outrageous act, right? Then it will be brought up at the football, and they will be confronted with it, and it will be remorselessly hammered in any weakness, and it will be exploited. And it's a very tribal country, Britain, um, especially with each other. It's not so much to outsiders, but we're a very, very tribal place. It's just the history of the place. It's always been like this, and I dare say it always will be. It's to do with the fact that we're an island as well. What are you laughing
Michael
at?
Harness says the hooligans seem to be bald white men.
Yo, that's me.
Do you think bald white men are angrier than any other type of man?
In Britain, yes, we get called the gammon because we look like fucking dirty great sheets of gammon. And that there is no, to be fair, gammon or like the ignorant racist Brits. Um, but there is a lot of us that look like that. Um, it must be said. I cannot deny that I do look a bit like a gammon, although I'm not. I don't have the spirit of a gammon.
I've never
You
heard
know
that term before.
what a gammon? Oh, hey, I'll sort you out off the thing. I'll help you understand the gammon. Um, it's an amazing thing, like, but it just comes from good old fashioned British ignorance. Like, we can be very ignorant when we want because it serves a fucking purpose sometimes. If you need to get something done, just putting the blinkers on and just doing it, regardless of what anyone says, like Brexit. If you want to get it done, just fucking put the blinkers on, head down, look at the floor, ignore the problems, and just do it. that's sort of like, there's definitely an element of that about British national life, which is infuriating if you're not that way inclined. But to deny it is to deny our nature. I share a country with these people, so there we are. I'm fucking exploring me British soul at the minute. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, it's just been like a roller coaster of topics that we've
It's been an
explored
insane
tonight.
stream. It's been brilliant. It's been really good. The fact that we haven't done one for 2 weeks and then it's all sort of coming out now, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Brilliant. Yeah, I love it. I love that.
Yes.
An
Yes.
assortment of topics. And you can see kind of like what, depending on what you're talking about, you can see different people responding in the chat. But it
Yes.
seems like we got quite a few people from your area of the world.
It's insane that's absolutely fantastic. Get in touch. We should
Yeah.
have like a northeast sort of, because they don't have like loads of people to like actually go out and like see and do things with. I mean, not like, sort of like going back to what you were saying before, sometimes there's nothing like that I could imagine that would be worse than like being constantly surrounded by fucking people. I like me quiet time and stuff like that, but sometimes it would be nice to like have people on a more sort of local, on a sort of like more local thing, so that you can share the passion with them. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It just depends. It just depends. It's like I'll tell you who it's like. Do you know Joy Amin? Joy Amin has like basically built a fucking fragcom in Bangladesh from the ground up. It's like, I mean, it's like there wasn't one, and then Joy Amin came along, and now there is one.
Well, there you go. With a little hard work, determination, you can create whatever it is you want.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
bit
he's
of passion.
he's kind of brought that place together, right?
Yeah,
He's
and
built
he's
that
got like,
community.
exactly. It's remarkable. A little bit of passion, and people can see you're into it if you've got like a decent. I'm so glad he's been monetized. Like, I'm not a massive fan of monetization and stuff like that. It's not monetization's not as bad as like all the other stuff that goes on. But if anybody deserved to be monetized, it's got to be Joy Amin. I mean, he made like the best part of 1,000 videos before he was. Well, no, he made more than 1,000 videos before he was monetized. Like millions of views.
Was that
It's
just
just
because he was streaming? I mean, his channel was based out of India?
no, his channel. No, it wasn't. He wasn't. It's what? Why he didn't get monetized? Because they didn't
Right.
have monetization. Yeah, because they didn't have monetization in Bangladesh. Bangladesh wasn't on the list of countries to be monetized. It was a fucking travesty.
Why? Because people watch from all over the world.
I know, but it just wasn't on the list. I don't know why. You
Interesting.
would have to ask YouTube, but YouTube famously don't
No,
have
but I
any.
wonder if YouTube was still profiting off of his videos.
They didn't have any ads. Ads never ran on Joy Amin's channel before. So if they were making off it, then
Is
they didn't show.
is this true? Scentland is not monetized?
Yep, I've never seen an advert on Scentland either.
Is that
Fantastic.
is
I
that
don't know
because
if that's on. I don't know if that's on purpose, or if it's like simply because he can't
he
be.
refuses a different story. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I'll ever get monetized. I don't know that I want to be. Nothing does my fucking tits in more than being balls deep into a fucking video, and then all of a sudden, like a Son of Musk advert will come on. You probably don't have them over there, but it's like they're just the worst brand in the world. And it's like, oh, you bad people. It's like, just get away with your bad advert right at the wrong time. I don't know why people are going to put adverts in their videos. Like, just put them in at like a convenient time, not like when it's like in the middle of a sentence. I don't
Yeah.
understand how adverts work. That's something I should say. I've got no idea how adverts work.
I think whoever wants to be monetized should monetize their channel. If not, don't do it. It's that simple. Everybody has the right and the freedom to do what they like.
Yes.
It's easy. It's as that simple.
Simple pimple.
And it's that simple. Rich, we're going on to 3 hours.
Good God.
There's still about 100 people here. I hate to cut it. I mean, I was going to say cut it short, but it's not short at all, considering we agreed to do 2 hours.
Yes. Yes.
How you feeling?
I'm getting there. I'm getting tired. Like, I've got to be honest. I could go. Are you wanting to keep going? Are you still wanting to go skating?
I wouldn't mind. I still got some time.
Go skating.
It's
go
dark
skating,
now. It's dark now, but they've got lights out.
I was going to say there'll be floodlit.
I used to play ice hockey there as a child. I'd go with my friends, and we'd go. So the rink closes at 11, and we'd go there after 11 when all security is gone and all the skaters were gone, and we'd put nets on the ice and we'd play ice hockey till 2, 3 in the morning. And then it was a lot of fun. Yeah, that's what we used to do here.
That sounds fucking awesome.
Like, who does that? Like, that was before the internet, before cell phones, before anything, before the universe was so connected. People had friends, like real life friends, and they'd go out and do stuff.
Yes. It's very funny how we've become so connected, yet never so far away from each other.
So disconnected.
Yeah.
Mike V says 6 more minutes and we'll pass a 3-hour Ramsey video mark. There you go.
Ramsey's videos are great.
Ramsey's really putting in the time, eh?
Yeah, he bought himself a ring light the other day. I was like, fuck. I was like, does this mean I've got to get it? Does this mean I've got to get one?
He's upping up his game. There you go.
He is. I might be getting a laptop soon.
You are?
I might be getting a laptop soon. I don't know that I'm getting one, but I might be. So that'll be interesting because I'll have to learn how to fucking use it.
Oh, man.
Dangerous.
He says, how come you have all your teeth? I didn't always. I didn't always. If you go back in my earlier videos, you'll notice like missing teeth. Absolutely.
No way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. I was missing teeth.
How did you miss your teeth? Did you get punched?
I got hit with a baseball bat.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
On purpose?
No. We're playing baseball, and I got hit with a bat, like smashed. Like I got a fucking huge lip, right? It almost looks like it was way worse than fillers today. When somebody gets lip fillers, I got a fucking swollen lip. I got stitches. My tooth got. I had to take my tooth out, right? I started to get infected, and then I got a bridge, and then one day the bridge fell out. So I've gone long periods without tooth, and then now I've got an implant, and it was the most painful thing I've ever experienced. Really, is the implant. Like the surgery after the implant was like, oh Jesus, it was horrifying.
I don't. It's something I've got to be careful about. I don't feel pain the same way other people do because of all the painkillers I'm on. So if like there was a time when I used to take a lot more painkillers than I do now, and I was on this stuff called nefapam hydrochloride. Oh my God, it was insane. They don't give it to people anymore. I once walked into a closed door, just thinking it was open, but it wasn't. It was closed. There was like this stuff gave you like a slight disconnect between reality and like your mind. So like the real world didn't align with your mind. But it was a sensational painkiller. I once broke a toe, or like I'd kicked something, like a curb or something, and I didn't realize until that night that there was a problem when I tried to take my sock off, and it was welded to my foot. And I was like, "What's my sock?" I was like, "What's my sock doing?" I was like, why won't my sock come off? And I was like, what the fuck? And I eventually managed to take it off, and my entire foot was like caked in like dry blood. And I was like, "Ooh, fuck! What's happened here?"
See
I
how
was like, "What's
exciting it
happened
was
here?"
to be young?
Sorry, how
See
exciting
how
it was.
exciting it was when we were young?
Yeah, that's right. Broken toe, exploded toes, and and painkillers. That was amazing. Yeah, I remember that. Still didn't hurt, like, because the painkillers were so good. I was just like, "Whoa, what's happened here?" Took it to the doctors, took it to the A&E, and I was like, "Whoops!" And they were like, "You might have to lower your dose." I was like, "No, my back's ruined." I was like, "You can't lower my dose." They were like, "Look, you can't be going around doing stuff like this." I was like, "Well, that's just fix me toe." They ended up putting what did they do to it? Did they staple it? This was ages ago. This was like 6, 7, 8 years ago. This, and I got ingrown toenails after that.
Oh man.
Ingrown toenails are so painful. Like ingrown toenails are so painful. Just don't do it. I was trying.
Yeah.
I was tempted with like home surgery. Like I was getting pen knives and trying to like cut out the little bit that was digging into my toe, and then that got infected as well. So I had like all sorts of goo. It was fucking rough. I'll see if I've got the pictures. I'll send you.
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks though. Thanks for the offer.
It was a fleshy toe. It was definitely a fleshy
Outrageous.
toe. Outrageous behaviour. It was sickening. I do like a bit of a gory video like that. I don't like watching people hurt each other, but if somebody's got like a large infection or abscess and it gets drained, I'm a big fan of that.
Do you
Just
remember the
only when I'm in
picture I
the
sent you when I ripped my nail off and I sent you the picture?
ooh, that was ropey as out that like that hurt that. I think that might have brought back like memories for us. Like PTSD of me toe.
Yeah, yeah,
Um
yeah.
I like the ones where like when people get massive blood blisters underneath their nails and then they get like a paper clip and they heat it up and then they put the paper clip on the nail and it boils through the nail and then all of a sudden the blood just goes
I've had to do that many times. So if I smash my finger at work, it'll get like the pressure will get like blood will build up underneath the nail and the pressure
yeah,
becomes too much where it feels like your finger is going to explode. And to relieve that,
yes,
I'd have to take a drill, so a really small, like the finest drill that we have, and I'd put it in the drill chuck and I'd put my finger in the vise, right? And I'd have to just kind of peck at the nail because if you go too fast, and it's happened to
yes,
me, once the drill breaks through the nail will grab the drill and force it right through, and
oh,
that just worsens everything. So you just got to do these really quick pecks, right?
oh
It's
my god,
it is not fun, but
oh
that's the
god,
horrors of working in the machine shop.
yes. Does it feel good though when the pressure gets released?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
It's
it's
like instant
incredible.
relief. You can just feel
Yeah,
everything just kind yeah, and it does like it'll like just force itself out like a fire hydrant, right?
yes, yes. A
Like a
massive
pimple, like
explosive.
squeezing a huge pimple under pressure.
Yes.
See all the faces in you. Dude, believe me, it's happened many times. Many
Oh,
times.
hey. I once what was I doing? I was trying to get like a pin to go into something and I was using the underside of my nail because I didn't have anything to like press it. I was trying to press down my finger, but it was digging into my finger. So I
Mm.
used the underside of my nail, but obviously it slipped and the pin went about halfway under my nail bed, right? And I was like, ow, 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 ow. So
That's
I pulled it out,
painful.
right? And instantly got a massive blister underneath my finger, like instantly, and it was massive. I woke up the next day and I was like, my thumb, that hurts so much. And one of the most satisfying things I ever did was get the same pin that caused the injury, and I just got it, and I literally just grazed it across the top of this blister, and the blister just fucking exploded. It was awesome. It was fantastic. But then there was another blister.
there was a blister further down, so I had to stick the pin further down, and that popped as well, and that was glorious too. One of the most relieving things that's ever happened. It was amazing. This is so grim.
I know the feeling very well. I've had I've
Absolutely.
dropped heavy blocks of steel onto my feet, and even with steel toe boots, you're like, oh, it's just they don't help, right? Or it'll hit
Yeah.
like the upper part of your foot, and you got a lot of bones in these feet. A lot of accidents. I've gotten many things in my eye. Man, there was a point where I was in the hospital at least once a month getting my eye like dremeled. Do you know what a Dremel is? It's that burr that it just kind of spins around, and they'll freeze my eye, and they'll just kind of like peck at the splinter in there, right?
Ooh.
Because I don't like to wear safety glasses.
Oh, fuck off. That's rough. That's so rough.
There was a time I had to go to I went to emergency in the hospital, and they couldn't get out. Like I had a burr or a splinter. It was just like a really small speck of steel. And when you get something in your eye, you're not supposed to rub it, because as you rub it, it actually penetrates the eye and gets embedded in there. And you're not supposed to touch it. If you can, try flushing it out with water. But I went to the hospital, and they couldn't get it out, so they sent me to a specialist. And when I got to the specialist, they put you in this kind of like this cage. You
Yes.
rest your chin into this. They kind of trap your face in so you can't move, and then you've got a place for your arms and these handles, right? So you don't move and squirm around. And the surgeon, I guess he was a specialist. He came in, right, and he cleaned my eye out with a Dremel. And I just kind of sat there. I've gone through this process many times at this point, and I just kind of sat there and let him clean my eye out. And afterward, he's like, Eugene, I can tell, by the way, you didn't move, you didn't squirm, you've done this many times. He goes, I've had firemen, grown ass firemen, come in here after an explosion, and they're bawling, they're crying the moment I touch their eyes, right? He goes, you really need to start wearing glasses. He says, I can tell by the shrapnel, like the scars in your eye, that you've done this before. So he's like, you really need to take care of your eyes. I was like, oh shit, okay, need to start wearing safety glasses.
Yeah, it's rough. That's one thing I wouldn't like to lose my sight. I'd hate to lose my sight.
Absolutely not. But working in a trade like that, I can't stand wearing glasses because they get greasy and they get oily, and it's hard to see through those glasses. It's almost like wearing foggy glasses all day.
Yeah. I know. Wear some goggles, like swimming goggles.
I couldn't.
Oh, I think they're all right, actually.
I couldn't do it. I don't like them.
I used to wear them when I worked in a factory. I used to wear not swimming goggles, but like safety goggles and stuff like that. We all got trained how to use like the emergency eye the emergency. It's one of the only things I ever paid attention to at work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's I couldn't do it. Like the idea of getting something in my eye is too rough. I played a computer game called Dead Space once, and at the end of Dead Space, you had to do this mad thing where you had to, and it was so vivid as well. How they got the graphics. Honestly, I was squirming when I was doing it. But you had to lie down on this table and get this needle to like go into your into your iris, and like not your iris but your pupil, and into the back of the eye to read this code that some alien had put on the back of your eye. And I did that, and it's lived with me because the graphics they used on his face, because he looked like he was like shitting himself. Like you were saying, like you've had like firemen who were like go in there and they get like and they get upset and they don't want it to happen. It was like it hit the really vivid graphics I remember from the end of this game, and I was like, oh my god, I'm never doing this again. Spaced out saying I got laser eye surgery on my eyes, best decision ever. Don't have to wear glasses anymore. That's something I don't have to do. I don't have to wear glasses. I never
That's
had like
something I've
pneumonia.
contemplated is getting laser surgery just to correct my vision. My vision's getting weaker, and I mean it's getting shit really. And I'd
Yeah.
love to have like better, just to read or
Do you wear
see.
glasses?
I don't, but I should. I should be wearing glasses. I especially for reading.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the thing is, that can give you headaches. Like if you haven't got like the apparently they make a huge difference. One of my friends, she needs her eyes tested. She can barely see fucking anything without her fucking glasses on. If she got laser eye surgery, it would change her fucking life.
I
But
remember Horace Grant. Wasn't he on the Pistons, the Bad Boys, the Detroit Pistons?
Horace Grant, I don't
Yeah,
know
he was a
what that is.
basketball player in the NBA, and he wore the goggles. It's funny. I don't know how I remember that, but and I'm not
Edgar
in.
Davids. Edgar Davids used to wear goggles when he was playing football, like some outrageous gaps. He used to wear some fucking like because he was Dutch, so there would always be like orange. You know what I mean? He'd always wear like orange gaps.
There
And it was
in the NHL in the National Hockey League, if you wore a visor, a face shield, you were usually made fun of, and it was usually, well, it seemed like not all, but it was like mostly Europeans that started that trend is to wear a visor, and they were always made fun of, and they were kind of, it, they were made fun of for being like less of a man for wearing a visor, right?
yeah,
So the Canadians had this thing like, oh, he's a if you were a visor guy, you were like less of a hockey player, less of a man's man, kind of like a
yeah.
weenie.
No, yes, Sam.
Mental.
Uh,
Anyway,
I want to eat.
yeah, Rich, this has been great. Really enjoyed
Yes,
this.
I've really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's do it again sometime.
Yes, let's. I'll
Thank you
probably
for
do it.
having me. Yes,
Yes,
Johnny,
thank you
very
for having me. That's right.
everybody in the chat, thank you for being here. We've enjoyed you and your commentary very much. Like always, it's been a pleasure. Hope to see you soon. I'm not sure when, but thank you, Rich. A
Thank
pleasure.
you.
We'll talk to you very
Always a
soon.
pleasure. Yes.
Wish everybody a great night. I hope everybody finds whatever it is they're looking for. Guys, we'll talk to you soon. Bye for
Night,
now.
night.